Hey Hannah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like which file are we gonna upload this week's or like today's material, like the activity and stuff? Because in the email normally you have the Google Drive.
Oh my gosh,
Um
I totally forgot the Google Drive. I will send an email. I'll follow up on that same email.
okay. Okay, thank you.
We should get you something more like a present or something for this.
Okay, just send it out, Molly.
Great, thank you.
I'm gonna send it to WhatsApp now.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I'm sorry, I have another question.
Yeah.
So in the homework, there is like there are a total of 4 questions. However, there is a number 4, it says option 2. So are we supposed to do all 4 or choose between number 3 and number 4?
For today's class.
Yeah.
So it's actually you can choose between number 3 and number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we'll explain it at the end too. So we'll get a little deeper into it.
Okay, thanks.
Hola. Hannah, I have a question.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you- Yeah, when to submit the homework and is it optional or not?
So the homework is the only one that's mandatory. The
Okay.
worksheets and activities are optional if we do not get to them in class, because we're supposed to do those in class.
Okay. So when to submit, or do I have like a week, 2 weeks? How much
Yeah, so
time?
it's it depends on the lesson, but most lessons have 1 week deadline. So for example, today's homework will be due before next Wednesday's session.
Okay.
That being said, last week, marketing with Kara and Bree, we gave you guys 2 weeks for that. So
Okay.
you guys have not this Friday, but till the Friday after that. I think it's like the 24th or something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 24th.
Okay, thank you so much.
Huh? We'll wait just a few minutes for the room to fill up. I see Sammy's already here.
Hey Hannah,
Hey, Steph.
how are you?
Good, good.
Hi
There-
everyone, nice to see you
Happy.
all.
Hello, ladies. How are we? Good to see you all.
We're gonna wait just a few minutes, maybe like 3 more minutes, for everyone else to fill in the room, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Perfect.
Hello, Hannah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. I love that everyone has their cameras on today. I see so many
Yeah.
lovely faces.
So how was your day, everyone?
All good. Thank you. How was yours?
Good. Let's work.
Yeah.
Sandra, can you speak again? I don't think we can hear you speaking. She texted in the group chat.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
What do we say? Should we cook?
let's, let's do it. Okay. Thank you guys for everybody who's joining. We so appreciate it. I'm especially excited for today's masterclass. I think it's actually probably the most new topic to every artist in the room. So there's going to be a lot to learn, a lot to go over, and should be pretty exciting. So if you remember, Nvak actually has several entities. We have Nvak Foundation, which partners with organizations like She Arts and builds programs like MuSHEqa for developing artists. But we also have Nvak Management, Publishing, Records, and last but not least, Media. And Nvak Media is one of our most innovative arms, and it is focused on all things Web3, NFTs, and even music video games. So most of you know me as the foundation manager at Nvak Foundation, but outside of this, I have the privilege of working with people like Sammy and Steph and project managing Nvak Media. And we work through all things Web3, NFTs, music video games for Nvak Collective's roster. And today we'll be going through all things Web3 music. So we'll be diving deeper into what is Web3, what NFTs are, what types of NFTs there are, myths and misconceptions about NFTs, how you can incorporate NFTs into your own artist projects, what platforms you should know about, and last but not least, we'll have you create your own wallet in class. And we'll be airdropping you a little gift from OasisX. So it should be pretty exciting. There's going to be lots of new terms, new concepts, probably some shifts in thinking going on today. So we do really encourage you guys to ask questions, speak up if something doesn't make sense. I guarantee you if something doesn't make sense to you, there's probably 15, 20 other people in the room who would like clarification as well. So just wanted to throw that out there. Don't be shy. We won't bite. And before we get started, would love to just get to know one another. Again, you guys know me, but would love for you guys to meet Sammy and Steph. I know for Nikisha's masterclass, we talked about the importance of finding a mentor, and I'm lucky to say that Sammy is one of my amazing mentors. He kind of took like 2 years ago and taught me everything that I know about Web3 and NFTs and Web3 music. Has been a joy to work with. And then Steph works at OasisX, is a total badass. She's so cool. And she,
Thank you.
outside of working in Web3, actually trained as an architect for 8 years. So that is super impressive. So Sammy and Steph, would love for you guys to introduce yourselves.
Thank you,
Ladies
Hannah,
first.
for this amazing. Thank you, Hannah, for this amazing introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Stephanie. I was born and raised in Beirut, in Lebanon. I've always been a big fan of art, of music, of dancing, and I love attending cultural experiences all over the world. I'm also marketing lead at OasisX, which is the leading NFT platform in Middle East and North Africa. I am, again, so excited to share today with you, and I really hope for you to leave this masterclass with 1 or 2 things that inspire you.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Stephanie. Hello, ladies of Egypt. So nice to be with you all. I'm actually in Amsterdam. I landed here today to be with Rosalind, who some of you guys may know. She's performing tomorrow, which is very exciting. So I'm here supporting her. But my name is Samuel Del Real, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, but my family's from Barranquilla, Colombia. I grew up playing Latin music. My father was a Latin jazz pianist. I'm a drummer by trade as well. I was actually signed by Atlantic Records when I was 17 years old, toured for many, many, many years, still play, still tour today, which is really important to me. It's in my blood and something that I have to exercise. But throughout the journey of being in music, I will tell you that the furthest thing that I thought I would be doing is technology and bringing technology with music together. I fell into the world of crypto in 2016, late 2016, and kind of got involved in a large scale solar farm that I built with some partners. We bought some land in Mojave, California, and bought some land, set up a 20 megawatt solar farm to utilize all that energy to mine Bitcoin. I traveled around the world for 3 years, speaking at conferences about the often conceived narratives that people have about crypto and NFTs, and changing that perspective one person at a time and giving them, of course, a use case that was less scary, something that they could understand and get behind. Fast forward to about 2020, 2021, when I met the amazing people of Nvak, who I believe you got a chance to see Alex and Tamar last week. We sat down together and chatted about their goals with their artists and how they wanted to like really build the next generation of musicians and artists that are actually building a new way to connect with their audiences. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to spend with us today. This is a very important one for me, for Hannah, and for Stephanie. It's really shaping the next generation, as I mentioned, of artists that are being creative, thinking about their artwork and utilizing tools as extensions of their art. Something that's so important to be thinking about when regards to releasing your music, being an artist, is that it's not singular. It's not in a box. You are meant to go outside that box. You are meant to explore and try to figure out the ways to connect and communicate with the people that care most about you. So hopefully today we'll be able to share a little bit about how NFTs, Web3, and all of this comes into play with your guys' musical careers. So thank you.
Amazing. So now I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys now, you know us, and now we want to get to know you a little bit. I know you guys are probably so sick of having to go around the room and say your name and where you're from each and every class. So this time we have a bit of a different one. What are you currently listening to? What genres and styles of music are you resonating with, or some of your favorite artists? Throw them in the chat, raise your hand. Just a quick way for Steph and Sammy to meet you guys. Sandra?
What about now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I removed my mic. Okay, hi guys. It's lovely to meet you. I'm so excited about today. My name is Sandra, and currently I've been finding myself listening to artists that are actually rising on TikTok, like Tate McRae. She has really cool songs, and an artist, her name is Isabel La Rosa. And I'm really also enjoying another artist. Her name is Nessa Barrett. She's been already famous, but I really love some of her songs. So those are the artists I'm listening to right now. It's not really pop, but I would say it's kind of like I'm not sure what to call it, but it's so catchy. I'd say it's kind of like a little bit of pop mixed with something. But those are the songs I'm listening to at the moment, like the kind of artists. Do you know any of them?
No, all of them. They're fantastic. Tate McRae is great. Nessa Barrett is amazing. I
Yeah.
love this. Yeah, Tate McRae's an old man. My old manager actually was her manager for a very long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Jory,
Thanks.
I have a feeling I know the artist you're gonna say, James Blake. But who else are you listening to now?
You already know. I'm listening like mainly the genres. I really don't like that word because I feel like music is very experimental. But what I've been listening to was experimental R&B, indie rock with a bit of dance electronic feel into it. These are kind of the genres that I'm diving into at the moment. The artist that I would say, other than James Blake, of course, would be Elliot Moss, Tora, Awful Tune, Palace, just
Wait,
like
hang on a second. I gotta stop you
indie
real
band.
quick. Tora
Yeah.
from Australia?
Tora, too much.
Yes! Oh my God, that's incredible. I love that.
I love that song. And I feel like all of the artists that I mentioned, they're very good at just visualizing their music as well. I bet you've seen the music video for Tora. Just the visuals, they give you that very, very exact feel of what the artist is trying to like put out. So they're all great. That's all.
Love it. Angie?
I know this might sound cliche for some people, but I actually like listening to K-pop, and I like R&B. Like I like their music so much. It's so different from the Western pop. That's why I'm attracted to it the most. I also listen to pop usually, but like Korean pop and Korean R&B is my favorite genres. My favorite artist these days is a rapper and songwriter and producer called Minyeon Gi. He's famous in the like South Korean music industry. I like his music because he writes his own lyrics, he produces his own songs, and he talks about mental health in his songs. That's why I relate to his songs the most. So yeah, that's it.
Super cool. I love the diversity that's popping up. Everyone is listening to different stuff.
Same.
Gina. Yeah.
Hi. So basically, the genres I listen to the most are very diverse. Like I listen to rock, pop, R&B. Like my playlist is very bipolar, to be honest. And my favorite artists of all time are The Weeknd, Dua Lipa. And currently, I'm very obsessed with Tate McRae too. Shout out to Sandra. We have almost the same music taste.
I'm actually really impressed that so many of you guys are stoked about Tate McRae. She's definitely been popping off a lot, so it's cool to hear.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, her songs are so catchy.
I don't know her, so after this call, I'm going to check her out. Thanks to you guys.
Love it. Tasneem?
Hi. So, my musical style or the things that I love listening to are things that are strictly melodical. I love everything that has good melodic structure. So I would say Lana Del Rey, I would say Hosier, and on the prog side, I love Opeth. I love Porcupine Tree. Anything that's layered and is strictly or heavily melodic, I love these things so much. I think the last Lana's last album is a masterpiece production wise and songwriting wise. I love her so much.
Sorry, I couldn't find where to unmute myself. Very cool. I know Mahmoud also loves the same artists, so that's interesting. And then Rita.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm basically a drummer, so I've heard that Samuel is a drummer too. So I think we're gonna have a lot to say today. The artists that I'm actually obsessed about nowadays are intervals. There are bands. They play metallic, more of a metallic rock. Actually, Camino also, Puma Blue, he's awesome also, and John OasisX.
We have a lot of drummers in the house today.
Yeah.
I love it. And Leal?
Hey, the genres that I've been listening to are very, very broad. I try to expose myself to as many sounds as I can. So in the morning, I try to listen to like some jazz, some bossa nova. Then later, I try to listen to like some neo soul, some rap, some anything. I just want to be exposed to new sounds and see how I can incorporate that into my music. And artists that I've been watching are artists like Little Sims, Rosalia, and just people who have been really taking it outside of the box and are willing to go above and beyond to just completely like change their image all the time and change like try new things and break boundaries and stuff, and I'm really respecting that. And I've been paying attention to also really big mainstream artists like Taylor Swift and them because they're achieving so much and they're causing such a huge impact, and that's very inspiring. I'd like to make music that would make have an impact on people or the world or yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I think that's everyone that had their hands raised. Yeah, diverse taste.
I was
Love-
about to say I have to interject once again. Like I've been commenting in the chat, but very impressed with all of your guys' chats and what you've been saying. It's quite eclectic. I'm also really in like excited to see and hear that so many of you guys are also listening to like kind of like off the beaten path, not necessarily straight pop music, and giving you guys also some really great kind of inspiration to like how to emulate or what you can be emulating and creating of your own. So very excited, guys. This is super cool.
All right. Are we ready? Okay, so first to start, how many of you have heard of the term Web3? You don't have to know what it is, but are a little bit familiar. Maybe heard it once or twice. I see a few hands. Raise your hands if you can. Rowan, Amal, Gina, Sandra, Sherwood. Cool. Okay, a few of you. More of you than I thought. That's good. Okay, very cool. Great. Well, so now you can put your hands down. So before we get too deep into Web3 music or into what an NFT is or what a music NFT is, we're going to take a step back and really digest what Web3 means. So Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 actually refer to the different generations of the internet. So you can think of like the different generations of an iPhone. The iPhone 4 was super clunky and shaped like a brick and couldn't do much. And then every generation after that got sleeker and cooler and new additions to it. And now you have iPhones today, which are like these devices that can do anything and everything you want and with you all the time. The internet can be thought of in the same way. So Web 1 came around in 1990, and you can think of this as read-only content. It's static data. It's mostly built for corporations or universities or educational institutions. You can Google something, you can read an article, and that's sort of the basis of it. Then in the mid-2000s, we get Web 2, which is probably what you guys think of when you think of the internet today. So you have the read-only content that was in Web 1, but then you've added user-generated content. So now all of a sudden, people like you and me can upload our own content to the internet, and you see social media platforms, blogs, podcasts, you name it, all popping up on the internet. Data is super easy to produce, collect, and distribute, but it's still owned by corporations like Google, Meta, and X. Now we have Web 3, Web3 is the latest and greatest version of the internet. It's built on what we call the blockchain, which I will explain in just a second. And the difference here is that it's decentralized and the content is created by users, but also owned by the users. So you may be thinking, how is that different than what we have today? Right now, you can post whatever you want, any content you want to some extent on platforms like Facebook or Instagram. But Facebook could decide to shut its doors tomorrow, and you would lose all of the friends, photos, pages, posts that maybe you guys have had since the 6th grade. That's when I got my first Facebook account. And that's a little scary. You don't actually own that data. It may feel like yours, but it's actually Facebook that has the control over that data. Web3 is decentralized. The user actually owns their data. And I said earlier, it's built on the blockchain. It's powered by the blockchain. Have any of you heard of the term blockchain or have any familiarity with it? No? A few, Gina? Okay. All good, all good. Okay, so I'll explain it. You can think of the blockchain as a database that verifies transactions. So you put something in the database and it authenticates it, verifies it, validates it. It's not moving, check mark. Sammy or Steph, do you guys have anything else to add on blockchain or Web3?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Steph, I can't see you, so I don't know if you were going to say something, but what I do want to note with regards to blockchains, and it's very important for you guys to know that there is a difference between centralized and then decentralized. A blockchain can also be centralized, meaning, let's say I started a company and I wanted to use blockchain technology, which at the end of the day is basically a distributed network or a ledger. I can have a company that controls a blockchain that's centralized. A decentralized blockchain would be all 40 of us participate in the upkeep and the generation of that blockchain. So not one person owns nor can control that blockchain. That's the big difference between centralized and decentralized. In order for a decentralized blockchain to change any kind of rule, at least 21 of us need to come into what is called consensus. We all have to agree that at least 50% or more have to agree that there is going to be a change made. That is the difference between centralized and decentralized. Steph?
I think you covered it.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Any questions so far with any of this? I know that, like, for those that are tuning in and maybe these words are different and new, we just definitely want to make sure we take our time with you and are giving you all the info. If you have questions, please don't hesitate. Otherwise, we'll keep on going.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it will get more familiar as we go on because it's still very new.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, great. That is Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. And now I have a bit of a side-by-side of Web 2 and Web 3 to really drive it home. So Web 2, how most of you probably think of the internet today, you pay for things in cash, US dollars, Egyptian pounds. As I mentioned, the data is owned by major corporations. You can think Meta, Google, X, Twitter. And the primary applications of it are websites, blogs, podcasts, social media. And then the difference in Web3 is payment is typically made in cryptocurrency. Have any of you guys heard of Bitcoin or Ethereum or cryptocurrency? Rowan?
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually love Bitcoin. I used to receive my pay in dollars from the company I work for, and a good way for me to get my money like cash in my hands from dollars to Egyptian pounds for a good price would be through crypto. So I would always buy crypto. And I think I know that like paper money is the risky thing now, and I wish all my money is crypto.
You guys are speaking my language.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, are the primary methods of payment in Web3. Again, data is owned by the users. In addition to all of the Web2 traditional internet applications like social media, websites, blogs, Web3 has all of that. We also incorporate metaverses, digital worlds, AI, and machine learning environments, and just digital environments. Steph or Sammy, anything to add there?
Something to add with this, and this is like a very common thought with regards to the word metaverse. A lot of people think that the metaverse is a singular place, or in a lot of cases, a lot of people think the metaverse is like a digital game, like a game environment, like Grand Theft Auto, or like something that you would play, or like something on Roblox or something like this, right? The metaverse is a collection of digital spaces. We are currently right now in the metaverse. We're operating in the metaverse. I can see all 40 of your beautiful faces and talk to you and engage with you. This is the metaverse. So when someone says we're going to the metaverse, it's like, well, which metaverse, right? That's the question you should be asking. Which metaverse are you talking about? Because there's many, many, many metaverses. So very important to note that there are many people, many companies, many brands that are actively trying to engage in metaverse type experiments and projects where people will create avatars, digital avatars, and have it be like a destination. So it's exciting because things are progressing on a daily basis. As we all know, Apple recently announced their Vision headset, and this is a whole next level of what it will be like to operate on the internet, where you're going to be able to have, Ray-Ban glasses, and those glasses will also have kind of augmented reality or AR, VR capabilities, where you are going to be able to kind of play with things that aren't actually there. And what's really cool about talking about the metaverse and Web3 is that for a lot of people that are maybe video gamers, NFTs are very valuable. Why? They're valuable because of the fact that when you play a video game, say on Roblox, or you're on Call of Duty, if you play Call of Duty, or you're on any one of these, video games, and you purchase something in the game, you can't take that out of the game. The game still owns it, and you just paid, $5,000 or $100 or whatever it is for this skin digitally that you can't take with you. So recently in the metaverse and the talks of the metaverse, NFTs become very interesting because for so long, people have been purchasing items digitally that they haven't been able to extract. That is now changing. Very complicated to do, but it's slowly changing. We just recently saw news that Roblox is looking to introduce NFTs into their metaverse so that users will be able to kind of go into that. And so I know that we'll talk into NFTs, and we'll talk about all of that stuff in the very coming slides.
Thanks, Sammy. Okay,
Can
any
I
questions? Oh, yeah.
to that? Please, thanks, Sammy, for sharing. I would also like to mention that the metaverse and the web cases of Web3 are not just limited to gaming. I think it's important to mention that they can be really good and have a really good social cause and affect people positively. For example, if someone's in the hospital and cannot go to a museum that they really want to visit, if you can build one like it in the metaverse, then it would be very easy for them to visit and see these things. The reason I'm giving this one particular example is because I know a company that built a Phoenician museum in the metaverse, basically for the reason that they want, with all the items of Phoenicians, they want everyone around the world to access it, and especially people that cannot walk and go to an actual museum. So I really cool use cases are developing, not just for fun, but also for a social good cause.
Amazing. Okay, thank you both. Any questions from the crew on, yeah, Sherwood.
Okay, so my very basic understanding of Web2 is that the data is hosted on servers that are owned by companies. So if data ownership is decentralized with Web3, where is the data hosted? Like, where does it exist?
Great question. So it all depends. Remember how I mentioned there are blockchains that are centralized, and then there are blockchains that are decentralized. There's reasons for both. Ethereum, which happens to be the biggest next to Bitcoin in terms of a decentralized blockchain, is what most people understand and use, I would say, this blockchain to be able to store their information on data services on top of Ethereum. Okay. And so, for instance, Ethereum created something called the smart contract. And that is literally a huge change, because I can go ahead and say, I'm going to sell my house, and all that paperwork that would be required for that sale of the house, I can do digitally. And I can also do so without an intermediary, without having to go through a party like a closing house or a mortgage company or something like this. And decentralized Ethereum is where that is being hosted. Now, there's another blockchain that could be like a Solana, a little bit more centralized, faster, cheaper, and that's why some people like it, because it's quicker, it's cheaper to transact, it's easier to be able to put your items on that blockchain. But otherwise, it is stored on something called IPFS, which is called Interplanetary File Sharing. Super nerdy, super nerdy, but it is something where these items, whether it be a JPEG, a PDF, a video file, a music file, would be stored on top of these specific blockchains. Stephanie?
No, thanks for the explanation.
Sandra?
So if I would try to simplify it, if you would give it like a synonym or another definition for blockchain, to simplify it, what would it be?
A distributed network.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Raman?
Hey, yeah, I have a question as well. If we were to take a user case where it's like specifically for music, and let's say that on Web2 you have your own website and you are it is centralized in a way because you are the one that's managing that website and you have your music on there. The only difference between this and a centralized blockchain would be the intermediary. So is that, if I understood correctly, and the type of format where the music is going to be presented? Like, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, so I could have a website that is, done by whoever, Squarespace or whatever
Right.
random, website company. And where is that hosted? It's hosted more than likely by Amazon Web Services, right? So at the end of the day, if Amazon Web Services went away, my website goes away. if Ethereum was to be attacked and someone was trying to attack Ethereum's network, it would take a lot more computing power, energy, and resources in order to actually successfully attack that network. It's not owned by one person and it's not owned by a company. Ethereum is a network of many, many hundreds of thousands of people validating and making sure that whatever lives on that network is actually happening and secure. Why Bitcoin is so important as like a blockchain and is also very slow to work when it comes to building is because Bitcoin today has proven to be the most stable and secure distributed network on the face of the earth. The reason for this is because you have many people called miners. You could be a miner, I could be a miner, 1 million people could be miners, making sure that they are securing and ensuring that this blockchain, by the way, when I mean by miner, it's not like you're actually like doing anything, it's a computer that's crunching lots of numbers to make sure that things are actually happening. And I'm trying to keep this super above board, not super complicated for you guys. But what's important is that Bitcoin has created a network that today the bounty to actually hack that network, meaning the reward, if you were to successfully hack that network, is almost $1 trillion. So far, everyone that has ever tried to hack Bitcoin as a network has been unsuccessful. Why? Because there's not enough computing power or energy that exists to be able to actually infiltrate that network.
May I just quickly do a follow-up to make sure I understand? So, but in the case of if I'm the only person who has access to the upkeep and so forth to that specific music-based space that I made, it wouldn't be as strong as Ethereum or Bitcoin, or right? Like it would still be easier to.
Totally. Yeah. And I think it's also important to note that like there are many ways to participate in this new internet. Remember, as I mentioned, like it may be easier to be able to do an NFT drop, if you will, on your website with one specific blockchain versus another. It might be cheaper. You might not even have to use crypto or a wallet or any of these things. The reason that we at Nvak are trying to teach you the fundamentals of this is because there are many companies that are trying to extract all of the difficult stuff to make it easy for a normal human to be like, oh, cool, I'm on Web3. But it also cheapens and takes away the purpose of you understanding why it's important for you to own your info, to own your data, to own your things that you're putting online.
And we'll get deeper into all of this too as the presentation goes on. So I know some of these words may not make too much sense now, but we'll explain all of it. Martina?
So it's not related to music, but my question is, so as a friendly advice, we should invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum?
I will never, ever, ever tell you to invest in anything. I will tell you to do your research. Be mindful that it's incredibly important for anyone and everyone that's interested in this space to understand what they're putting their money in. I will advise for you to pay attention to Bitcoin and to Ethereum because they have been around for a very long time. But I would certainly tell you, do your research, make sure that if you are putting money in any of this stuff, it's like a savings account. You're putting it in there to save. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, also kind of sucks a little bit, but it's up and down. Think about your Egyptian currency. It goes up and down all the time. In Colombia, where my family's from, the peso is devalued 5x from the American dollar. That fluctuates all the time. Bitcoin, over the course of 15 years that it's been around, has been incrementally going up. It's been like this, but in the grand scheme of thing, when you zoom out, it's been an onward trajectory. So if you were to like be curious about cryptocurrencies, yes, I would advise to do a lot of research about Bitcoin and Ethereum. I would not ever tell you to invest in anything. Definitely you want to make sure that you guys are being safe out there.
And then I think one more question before we move on, Amira.
Yeah, I think Hannah told me we're going to cover all my questions in the coming slides, so I'd rather wait not to cut the stream of thought. So it's
Beautiful.
okay. All right, good.
Okay, some good questions though. Keep asking away. I think these are all really great. Okay, so we touched on it a little bit. You've heard the term NFT now, but prior to the class, how many of you had heard of NFTs? You can just like raise your hand with the emoji. Okay. And then my next question, did you hear good things or bad things? No wrong answer. Rolla has a thumbs up. Rowan has a heart. Okay.
Mixed review.
I'm seeing good, bad, mixed reviews, bad, both bad. The art is weird though. Weird. I love it all. These are great. Honestly, I'm going to secretly tell you guys that all of three of us were hoping that you would say bad things because this is where we hope to be able to paint a new light and give you guys a different perspective. Because again, many people think that NFTs are beholden to specific artworks and types of artwork. NFTs can be anything from a certificate, a deed, a picture, a JPEG, a video, an MP3 file. It can be anything. But it's important to note that it's not a specific genre of art. It's not a specific item. It's literally technology, which Hannah will go into here in the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. So good to hear. We probably about half of you have heard of NFTs. But yeah, as Sammy mentioned, NFT can be kind of a scary and intimidating term, and frankly, the term gets a lot of bad PR through the years. If you do know about NFTs, maybe you guys think about crypto bro culture or negative climate impact or scams or losing your money or things like that. And more of you may have not even heard of the term NFT before, and you're wondering why the heck are we even talking about this during my music program? But today, the three of us are going to decode all of it and try to break down NFTs into their simplest use cases, their simplest language, and really shed light on how the technology is impacting the music industry today and helping artists in different scenarios, and hopefully help you guys make informed decisions around whether or not you guys want to bring NFTs into your own artist projects and how and why you may want to do that. So that being said, what is an NFT? NFT in formal terms stands for non-fungible token. And if you're anything like I was 2 years ago, I probably just spoke Mandarin when I said non-fungible token. Not many people know what that is. But in less formal terms, we can think of an NFT as a digital collectible or on-chain item. And when I say on-chain, I mean blockchain. And what is the blockchain? Again, the blockchain is like a database where you verify information. Sammy, you may have a better explanation there if you wanted to add anything.
Nope, we kind of covered that a little bit, but we're good.
Great. Okay.
I have something to add. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I usually like to explain NFTs through a very simple analogy. let's talk about paintings, for example. So every physical painting has a document or paper that says who the artist is, when it was painted, who owns it, who was the previous owner, and how much it costs. So let's take the Mona Lisa as an example. To confirm that this is actually the Mona Lisa and it's authentic, it comes with a specific documentation and it must be approved. However, what happens if this document is lost? And what happens if the digital version of this document is also lost? That's where NFTs come in. So NFTs are a combination of an artwork and the document that proves its authenticity together. So this is what they basically are, either a media file, a music file, an audio file, that are all associated with the proof of ownership or this document that proves that this is the original version. Hence, the media file plus this document together form this NFT. So remember when we said above that what happens if you lose this document? So that's where NFTs solve this issue. NFTs and their certificates of ownership together are stored on the blockchain, which are preserved forever and no one can delete them. So that's why we actually call it non-fungible token. Non-fungibles means they cannot be changed. I hope that's a little clearer.
Also, something to add to what Stephanie's talking about. What is fungible? Most people, I didn't know what that word was either. But fungible means that I have $5 bill. And that $5 bill can be also $1 to equal $5. It could be several quarters to equal $1 to then equal $5, right? Meaning I can break it apart into many pieces. That's what fungible is. Non-fungible means it's unique. One.
Okay, thank you both. Martina, you had a question?
It's a quick one, but I heard that on NFTs, people could sell really weird art, like a tiger, a cartoon tiger, and they sell it for $1 million. So why is it that case? And yeah, that's the question.
Why something costs $1 million?
Yeah, and it's ugly. It's like digital art that looks AI-ish, but it's sold very with a lot of money. So why?
Get a little bit into this and how NFTs are valued and then also on the next slide, the different types of NFTs. So yeah, there is a lot of bad art out there, but there's also a lot of really wonderful art. And NFTs can be anything that you make them, since it's just, we can think of NFT as the technology. So that, I'm glad you asked it. It brings me to my next point. What can be an NFT? So many different things can be minted on the blockchain. Video NFTs, podcasts, written articles, concert tickets, visual artwork, game tokens, house deeds, driver's licenses. NFTs will virtually touch all industries within the next few years. And of course, the reason that we're all here today is music NFTs. So we'll be discussing music NFTs, what they are, and how you can make them yourselves. So what is a music NFT? It is a song that has been minted on the blockchain. And you may be wondering, why would I want to put my song on the blockchain for fans to buy or collect when you can just release them on Spotify and be done with it? Well, there's actually 1,000 different reasons that artists are putting their music on chain, that artists are releasing music NFTs, which we're going to get into today. So everything from immediate payments to the data that it gives you on your fans to being able to reward your fans. So this is sort of a sneak peek of where we're headed. Okay, let's get into it. And then first off, did anyone have any extra questions on what an NFT is before we kind of get into the value of them? Good to go? Sweet. Okay, so immediate payments. So to preface this, we purposely put this Web3 masterclass at the very end of the music business module because we wanted you guys to have a good understanding of how the music industry operates, who all the key players are, how all these puzzle pieces fit together. And then in the Web3 masterclass, we're sort of going to tear all that down. We're gonna kind of spotlight the negative or messy things about how the current music industry is operating, and hopefully provide you with a different system that's more artist and fan friendly through the use of Web3 and NFTs. So our first point number one is immediate payments. So earlier in the course, you guys learned all about publishing deals and streaming services and record labels and the different contracts that you sign as artists. And fun fact, if you have a lot of hands in the cookie jar, it takes a very long time for all of those hands to get paid. We're talking anywhere from 6 months to over a year. They have to sort through the royalties, figure out where what goes where, and it just takes a long time. So as an example, you guys know Rosalind's hit track Snap, which went viral last year. The funding from Snap won't hit for everyone until early 2024 because it takes that long to process. But when you make a payment on the blockchain, when you buy a music NFT, you see revenue instantly. So there's no waiting 6 to 12 months to see revenues from your music. It's automatic, it's instant, it goes directly to your wallet.
This is huge, ladies, for I don't even know how many different reasons, way too many reasons that I could understand myself. But why this is so impactful is over the last 2 years, we've realized, and Hannah has been really spearheading this whole thing with us. You know, we have 3 artists. And in those artists usually don't get paid like right at all, really right away. I mean, like she said, it takes 6 to 12 months for them to see even anything from even the royalties from DSPs, Apple, Spotify, etc. Annika Rose was our artist that we went ahead and really experimented in this space with first head on. And what's beautiful about all of this is that when she drops a song on whatever platform, and she has the 3 or 4 different participants that also were involved in making that song, so a songwriter, a producer, a couple of songwriters, whatever, we credit those people on the contract, the smart contract. And immediately when Hannah or Stephanie or Nada or anybody or Martina buy that record, it automatically sends their percentages to those people that are on that smart contract forever. So that is huge. We don't have to chase things. We don't have to wonder when or why or if I'm going to see any of my music. It's instant. So huge, huge, huge.
And oh yeah, Jean.
Sorry, just one question. But what if your fans or the people that listen to your music are not on the blockchain? So how do you reach your target audience? You know what I mean? Like they're on Spotify.
We'll get into that too during this presentation. Okay. That's a good question. Okay. Well, moving on. So I know Sammy just kind of brought this up a little bit, but music takes a village. To release music as an artist and to do it successfully, you often have an entire team of people that are working behind you, whether it's the record label, the manager, the producer, the songwriter, the stylist, the graphic designers, the photographers, everyone. It takes a village to make Harry Styles, to make Beyonce. They are not doing that alone. So not only does it often take months to years for this village to get paid or credited for their work on a project, they often don't get the credit that they deserved. So a little exercise, could everyone write in the chat like an album cover that they think is just iconic? Like if you think of a famous album cover, what is the first thing that you think of? For me, it's Beatles, Abbey Road, or Nirvana, Nevermind. Yep, that's a good one. Yep, these are all good ones. Do you guys know who made that cover artwork? No. Okay, that's what I figured the answer would be. So these are iconic pieces of artwork that everybody knows. You know the album, you know the band, you know the music. You can think of the art, the visual art that comes with the album immediately, but nobody knows who actually made that. Who was the photographer on Nevermind's baby photo shoot? I could not tell you. But the point of that is that so many people contribute to records, but they don't get royalties for their work, like the photographer or maybe the drummer, the studio drummer who showed up for the session that one day. They're paid to show up. They get a one-time fee. They come to set, they come to the studio, they do their job, and they actually play a very huge role in the success of a piece of work, but they aren't credited and they don't really receive royalties on that work. Nobody really knows them. So the beauty in the blockchain is that it actually enables revenue sharing and it's all transparent. So that means that you can encode anyone and everyone that you want to receive a royalty on your project on the smart contract of what you're releasing. So say you want to credit your visual artist or you want to credit your studio drummer or guitarist on the work that you release, you can. And all of those people can receive royalties for the rest of time on that release. So Sammy just said the example with Annika Rose. In Web2 or like her Spotify releases, it has like traditional splits, label artist, producer, songwriter. But in Web3, whenever she drops a music NFT and she does both, they work, it's not one versus the other, they can work together. She credits everyone from the photographer who took the cover photo to even the marketing consultant who helped her come up with the strategy of her release plan. So does that, any questions on revenue sharing or how that works? All good. Gina.
Hi, I have a question, but not about the revenue sharing. It's about the previous slide when you said that the users can buy the music. When you say buy, do you mean like they actually like buy the song, or do they buy it like just for listening? Like, I mean, do they buy the rights to the song, or do they just like give it a listen? Because I mean, they could do that for free, so why buy it?
It's a good question. Sammy, take it.
Great question. If you decide, Gina, that you wanted to give royalties for people that purchase, that's an option you could do.
Justin Bieber, he just recently.
Yeah, Justin Bieber just recently did this. It is not a requirement, nor is it a necessity. It is a feature of why you would do this. Think of it like on Spotify, you have 10 million monthly listeners. You have no idea who those 10 million people are. You don't know if Gina happened to listen to my record 100,000 hours this year. I don't know that. If I'm Dua Lipa, I have no clue who is my #1 streamer. I don't. Spotify doesn't give me that information. No one does. Where here, if I was to say, I'm Dua Lipa and I'm going to drop Houdini. It just came out. But I'm going to drop Houdini for only 1,000 people to buy this record. It's a limited edition. Why would you do that? Why would I buy it if I can listen to it for free? Well, because maybe that means I get access to something that just the normal passive listener doesn't get access to. Maybe Dua Lipa decided that she's going to give all Houdini holders or collectors a backstage pass to meet her and Kevin Parker from Tame Impala at her show in London at the Prince Royal Albert Hall, as an example, because you own that record.
Yeah, we'll have.
So it's like, I'm sorry, Hannah.
Go ahead.
So It's like basically like having a close friends list on Instagram that's like there's this one close friends list with the subscription where people like subscribe to people and they get like exclusive content. So it's similar to that in a way.
It can be, yeah. So really, the beauty of it too is that it's all spearheaded by the artists and their strategy and their plans, which we'll get into later in the presentation. Another way to think of it too is like buying a vinyl record of a song. Like you the fan owns a copy of the song, and we'll get into like why they may want to do that in just a sec here. But that's a really good question.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so we went through revenue sharing. Okay, one of the bigger ones. So you guys just had a class on streaming. You learned about streaming from the lovely Maya at the Orchard. And I hate to make it negative, but the way that streaming services are set up today is a major reason why artists around the world struggle to make a living. Platforms like Spotify decided one day that one stream was worth 0.003 of a cent and left many artists, hundreds of thousands of them, unable to pay their bills. But when you sell an item on chain, when you drop an NFT, whether it's a song or a merch item or a poster, a piece of visual artwork, you get to decide what the price point is. You can set your own sales goals. You value your work how you want to value it. So if, say, you want to release a music NFT that's free to collect, you can make it free for anyone to collect it themselves, or you could price it at $1,000. So kind of like going back to Martina's example earlier, maybe the artist wanted to value their work at $1 million, and they could. They found a buyer and the buyer did it. The value is in the hands of the artist. They decide how they'd like to value their work. And then bringing it back to Sammy's point earlier, another fun fact about streaming is if you are doing well and you are an artist that is managing to garner streams, you have no idea who is actually listening to your music. You can get general data, like maybe the top 5 countries that your fans are from, or what gender the listener is, which you should all still be looking at that data, but you really don't know who is listening. So you can't tell that maybe me and Sammy listened to Music for a Sushi Restaurant by Harry Styles 30 times yesterday, and we've been listening to it 30 times a day since the song was released. Harry has no idea that Sammy and I are his biggest fans in the entire world, and we stream his music 50 times a day. Our stream is worth the same as the person who was walking in the grocery store yesterday and just happened to hear it on the radio. Harry cannot tell the difference between us. And if you're Harry, you can't communicate with us directly. You can't form relationships with us. You can't thank us for being your #1 supporters. Maybe you can if you say something on social media or say something out loud at a concert, but you don't really know who your #1 fans are, who your audience is. And if you can't understand who your audience is, it becomes impossible to actually grow that audience. So the blockchain ensures transparency. You can actually see who exactly is buying your work. You can see what else they're interested in. So you can actually look in their wallets and see if, maybe they got a Harry Styles music NFT, and then they also got a Snoop Dogg music NFT. And then Snoop Dogg and Harry can see that their fans are buying the same music. Maybe they should do a collaboration and grow their fan bases, and their fans would love that. And also through Web3, you can put all of your holders and your collectors and your music NFT buyers in a Discord group or a Telegram group or a group chat and get to know them and talk to them and really form relationships on a deeper level than the traditional system really allows you to. Which brings me to my other point, reward systems. So like I said, if you know your audience, you can engage with them, you can talk to them, you can figure out what they like or dislike, you can thank them, and you can reward them over time. And why is that important? Strong relationships are built on mutual respect. They're built on mutual back and forth. So I know, like Tamar mentioned in her management class, we put in the work to put this program on, to connect you guys with mentors and resources. And in return, you guys show up, you guys engage, you ask questions, you participate, you submit your artist projects, and it's this mutual back and forth rewarding relationship. Music can sometimes be kind of a one-way street. Artists build their entire livelihoods, their entire careers off of their fan bases. And then in return, I mean, the fans do get to listen to the artist's music, but some could say it's not always mutually beneficial. So the person who has been by your side since absolutely day one, me and Sammy and Harry Styles, for example, they are worth the same in streaming as the person who just discovered your song yesterday. They get the same music, they pay the same for your concert tickets, and you don't really get to see the difference in who's really your OG ride or die fan and who is one of your newer, kind of more lackadaisical fans. But thanks to blockchain, you can see who your fans are, you can see how early they came in and supported you, you can reward them, and you can say things like, everyone who collected my very first music NFT gets discounts on my concert tickets for life. Or everyone that collected my first music NFT gets a free merch item sent directly to their house. So for example, from Nvak's own roster, Rosalind dropped a Hallelujah Rehab remix on Sound XYZ, and everyone who collected that song got a free merch package shipped to their house. Or another example with Talia Lahoud, everyone who collected the Samra music video got an exclusive private performance of Samra the next day. So there's so many different ways that you can reward your fans, and it's entirely customizable to fit your fan base and your goals and your artistry. And on top of that, you also, when you incorporate these rewards, you begin to really incentivize engagement. So people can see like, oh, just these 100 people who collected this music NFT get to meet Harry Styles at the show. I want to meet Harry Styles at the show. I want to get in early. Anything, does that all make sense? Any questions so far? Or Steph or Sammy, anything to add on that? No? Great. Moving on. Provenance. What does that even mean? Sammy literally taught me this word when I was writing a blog post a year ago. So to be transparent, if you don't know what provenance means, no shame. No worries. So I'm going to try to explain the meaning of provenance through a real life example or a case study. So when a piece of work becomes popularized, becomes famous, someone out there is likely going to try to copy it, forge it, and capitalize on it. They've been doing that since the Middle Ages. You can think about Steph's Mona Lisa example. There's only one real Mona Lisa painting, and there's thousands and thousands of people online selling fake Mona Lisas. When you bring modern AI into the mix, it becomes so much more complicated to understand what you're buying or looking at or listening to is real, if it's authentic, is it actually the artist or is it an AI copy of the artist? We just had that, if you guys know, like The Weeknd, like someone copied The Weeknd's voice using AI and released music. It's just getting more and more complicated each and every day. But when you mint your song on the blockchain, you are verifying that it is yours. It's authentic. You are tracing it back to you. Any questions on that? So that's provenance. Hope that made sense. Or Steph, if you had anything to add there.
No, all good on my end.
Okay. Great. Okay. Social signaling. So how many of you know somebody that likes to brag about finding an artist before they got cool? I know so many. For me, yeah, I love these hands going up. For me, that's my Uncle Ed. I'm sure everyone has an uncle like this. But my Uncle Ed will tell me every single year, that he saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the 1980s in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and they were horrible. They were the worst band he'd ever seen. And he got a beer with them, and then he became friends with them. And I have no idea if that story is true. I'm pretty sure he's making it up, but he loves to say it. But we all know people like that. But when a fan buys your music NFT, it is timestamped. So everyone can see that you supported that artist at that specific point in time. There's no lying about it. It's transparent. You can actually tell that you found that artist or you supported that artist before anyone else. So that's just another bonus reason about why music NFTs are cool, is you can actually show people like, hey, I bought this in 2009 and now they're famous and you just found them today. And last but not least, there's value in finding an artist before anyone else. Again, I don't want to be giving, this isn't financial advice by any means, just to preface. But as an artist grows in their careers, so does the value of their work. So for example, say you had Taylor Swift's first guitar. If this were 2005, no one would care. People would be like, I don't even know who Taylor Swift is, keep the guitar. Now that it's 2023 and she's one of the biggest artists in the history of the planet, people probably care that you own Taylor Swift's first guitar. So the same thing applies to NFTs. If say you bought an original limited edition Taylor Swift NFT in 2005 for $2, in 2023, you could likely sell it for a lot more than that. But again, this is not financial advice. Okay, so now I have like a 10-minute break since I know we're like halfway through. Any wrap-up questions before we move to the next phase? And we'll take a little break. Martina, yeah.
No, I just want to say this session is so cool.
Thank you. I know it's new. It's probably one of the more dense sessions. So go get a glass of water. We'll reconvene. Is 10 minutes too long? 5 minutes? How are you guys feeling? Good. All good. Okay. 10 minutes. All right. See you guys in 10.
Hey Hannah, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So basically it's like going back to the beginning when you were saying it's like the vinyl records. So it's kind of like the old-fashioned way how we used to purchase music. So like CDs, those tapes and stuff like that. So it's just okay.
Yeah. If you're purchasing a music NFT, you can think of it like a copy of the music. And then that copy just so happens to often come with perks.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hannah, I have a question for you for music NFTs. Can you sell the NFTs with IP rights? So if I buy part of a song, can I use it in my own branding?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Not all NFTs are like that, but you have to
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know the project Fluff.
No.
Well, I'm giving kind of an example on them later, but Fluff is like they're all bunny rabbits. it's the name Fluff, but they're like bunny avatars and they all come with music. And if you own a fluff NFT, you actually own the rights to that, and you can put the song from that NFT in your commercial or your movie or whatever you want to do. So every project is different, but yeah, that's an option.
That's great because we're actually working on, you know, Fido Dido, the 7-Up mascot.
Yes.
So we are working with the creator to create a collection, and we are going down that path with IP rights. And it's very tricky trying to, you know, trying to keep a certain standard for how you can use it, if it needs to go through the artist. So I was wondering if it was something similar with music.
Yeah. It's an option. People have done it before. I don't know how it like actually works in terms of the contract. But it has been figured out. I can connect you with the fluff guys too. Sammy and I know them pretty well.
Sure, if we was just wondering because it's super interesting to have that option. It takes it to a whole other level.
I know, yeah.
Yo guys, my cat says hi.
Hello. What's
Hello.
his name?
His Borai. His name is Borai.
Borai. Hi, Borai.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
Wait, let me show you my dog.
What's his name?
Her name is Tokyo because she's passive aggressive like the character in Casa de Papel.
Ah.
I think
Hello,
she just woke up.
Tokyo. Oh, such a cutie.
She's like half asleep. You're not that photogenic, babe. Your nose is too big.
Let me show you my little kitten, but she's.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
sorry. Can you see me? Wait.
Show me.
I can't see myself. I don't know. Working.
can see
Oh,
you
that's
in
me. Rita.
Oh, I want like
This
five.
is stray cat. I rescued her.
So
Aw.
cute. Hi, Baba.
Oh.
She's born.
So cute.
Other pets?
I don't have a pet, but I would love to have one. They're so cute.
Such a responsibility, but it is very fun.
Yeah, that's why I haven't gotten myself to get one yet.
Okay, you can go back now. Say bye.
Bye.
Stephanie, are you in Lebanon or are you here?
No, I am in Dubai.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Who's in Dubai?
Me, I'm in Dubai.
Everyone is in Dubai now. It's so
I was
interesting.
born in Dubai and then I came here. It didn't make sense. What am I doing? And
Now
now
is
it's
the
in
time
Dubai.
to be. The weather now is amazing. It's really nice to be here. But in summer,
Where are
summer,
you
my hair's 10
staying?
times the size.
I live in Marina.
Ida,
You know it?
me too.
You live there now?
I'm in, you know, Arjan, the big tower.
Yes.
Next to Media City or in
Yes,
Media
yes,
City.
yes.
It's where CNN, NBC, all
Yes.
the channels are next to it.
Nice. I'm right next to Dubai Mall, Marina Mansions. Marina Mall, you know, the one here on the.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I just came last week. Oh, Nada, you were saying that you were in Dubai?
I was born in Dubai and then raised in Oman, Muscat. And then I came here and I'm actually
Egyptian, Turkish, Hungarian / Ukrainian. بصي
Look at you, multinational.
it's a situation. It's a situation.
Yeah.
Martina, you're there for the festival, you said? Last time you said something about the festival?
Which festival? In Dubai?
Yeah, Martina, I think you mentioned that last time or no?
Martina.
Oh,
Martina.
yeah. Is anyone going to Seoul DXB?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
When is it?
The first weekend in December on the 7th, 8th, 9th. Nadine Ruby is going. I'm mentioning the Arabs we know.
Yeah.
Mabin. Also Sampa the Great. She's not Arab, but if you know her. Also, you know Busta Rhymes, he did a famous song. He's the headliner of the festival.
Yeah.
Of course we know Busta Rhymes.
Okay. Honestly, it's a youthful event, so I feel like it's a good time to be, out there in Dubai, enjoying the sun and good music.
Tell us how it goes.
You should definitely go.
So you're not going?
I'm not
Me?
going, no.
Unfortunately, no, I can't.
Top Stephanie, are you going?
I'm not sure. I'm going to Grass Groove this weekend. There's For l'Amour. I don't know if you know him. For l'Amour is a really nice, really cool DJ. He
Which
plays
genre?
if you know Seth.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying there's a groove on the grass this weekend, and a really nice DJ is coming to play. His name is For l'Amour, and I absolutely love him and his music. So it's a really fun.
Yeah, he plays funk. I know him. Funk.
Yes, very fun disco music.
Wow! Oh my God.
Yeah.
The thing is, another jazz fusion band called Snarky Puppy. If you're into the jazz fusion.
I don't.
I
Okay,
love
fine.
Snarky Puppy.
Snarky Puppy. So good.
What?
They're
Where's
so
Snarky Puppy?
annoying.
Dubai?
They're the end
When?
of November. The end of November.
No.
Nice.
Martina, happy birthday here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when every time I go to a concert, I'm gonna post here on the chat.
Yes,
the thing
please.
is, concerts are so expensive.
Yes.
So I wish I
Martina,
could
go live.
Yeah,
Go
we'll
live.
watch.
Yeah, I wish I could go to this weekend's event with Stephanie because the DJ who's going is amazing. What's the venue though?
It's here. It's at the golf course in Marina. It's literally here. It's right next to your house.
Wow.
And I just made it out of traffic. What are you guys doing? What's happening?
Hello.
Well,
Obsessing over Dubai's music scene.
you're what?
Yep.
Obsessing
Oh,
over Dubai's music scene.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I'm obsessing over it too. They always have.
Habibi Funk is going to be there, but I have some reservations كده towards Habibi Funk.
You mean for Saturday?
Demi Lovato performed this year? Yeah, this year for Dubai. It was crazy. كان نفسي أحضر.
What?
بجد؟
She's one
Yeah.
of my idols.
I love her. Love her. كان نفسي أحضر.
I
But
call
she
her the twin.
She performed the rock version of her album.
Wow.
I hate that shit. Sorry.
هو انتوا في بريك؟
Yes.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Or most
نتكلم عن ايه؟ بسرعة.
NFTs, how to release your music as an NFT.
Okay.
Thanks, Martina.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome.
Thank you. It's crazy how like I see the light at your place and we're gonna sleep in 2 hours or 1 hour. It's crazy.
I know. The time difference is bananas. So crazy.
Yeah.
Hannah, where are you?
I'm in LA.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
One of my biggest dreams is to visit LA at least once in my life.
I hope that happens. I feel like it is going to happen for you.
Just say I'm gonna visit LA, and you shall.
Aren't you going to Cairo, Hannah?
What's that?
Aren't you gonna come to Cairo?
Yeah. I'll be there the week of the December 6th songwriting classes.
Oh, that's you're gonna, I think, catch on a bit of Christmas era here. I think.
I need all the recommendations.
Yeah, I think in the university they're gonna put a lot of decorations there. The first time I went, there were like a band playing. It was so nice.
Love that.
In AUC, there was a band playing. It was really nice. I think they're gonna put decorations for.
Well, I hope that
Shout
happens.
out to AUC.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, are we all ready? Ready to go? Part 2?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, amazing. Okay, so at this point, you guys know what an NFT is. You guys know what Web3 is and what the difference is between Web2 and Web1. You know what the value is in putting your music on chain and how it's really disrupting the music industry for the better. So now I wanted to just take a second to look at some different music NFT projects and case studies to really give you guys some context. So I'm sure most of us know Snoop Dogg, right? Yeah. So Snoop Dogg was actually one of the first mainstream artists to put his music on chain to release music NFTs. His NFTs consistently sell out. He always does a huge variety in his projects. They're all different and they all come with different perks. So as an example of one of his most recent collections was his Snoop Dogg Passport series. So fans collected a digital version of his tour poster. And as he moved from city to city on tour, the digital version of that artwork actually evolved and changed and came with different perks for those that owned the tour poster. So that's one application of it. Or we have Shilly over here. Shilly is a digital metastar created by the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm not sure if you guys know the monkey that's like sitting there looking bored. That's so famous in the NFT space. Justin Bieber is a famous owner. They're one of the largest NFT communities in the space, and they banded together and created this pop star that's a monkey called Shilly. And if you collect different Shilly items, you get perks like merch discounts or even like the stems to Shilly's music. For a more recent example, Jaden Violet is an up-and-coming independent artist from the United States. He hosts spaces on X or Twitter, which is sort of like podcasts, and he has grown his following from 0 to 10,000 over the last year alone. So he's a great case study and an independent artist really putting in the work. But he released his first NFT project a few weeks ago called Raver Realm. And if you collect a Raver Realm, you get a character, and each character represents a different Jaden Violet song. So there's 9 characters, 9 songs. Each character comes with their own stories, and you can set these characters as your profile picture. And last but not least, we have Annika Rose, who I know Sammy discussed a little bit earlier, but Annika is one of the artists signed to Nvak Collective. She's based in LA, and she was one of the first on our roster to really love the Web3 space and want to explore it and experiment it with their own artist project. It's always personalized to fit the artist. So say you're signed to Nvak Collective, we won't force you into NFTs, but we really want to get to know you and how you may want to put NFTs into your project. And for Annika, she wanted to gamify a music video. She wanted to have her music videos be playable, navigable, to force her fans to really spend time with her as an artist and her story and the song, which was Bruises. So we did the Bruises music video game in May of last year. And it was like a playable music video. Super cool. I'll send you guys the link after. You can actually play it. It's free to play online. It's built out in Unreal Engine 5. We had a team of like 30 people from around the world working on it at Nvak. And she sold out 500 NF tickets, so access passes tickets to her listening room in the music video game, which was like a private space where fans could listen to her unreleased music. So that was the perk that she did. So really there's 1,000 different ways to bring NFTs into your project, whether you want to do a tour poster or a merch item or tickets to a virtual experience. And now you guys may be wondering, yeah, but how do I do that? I know all this stuff and I have no idea where to put it into my project. Now we're going to get into artist Web3 strategy. So we have a blog post about this. I emailed it to you guys yesterday. If you're interested in this part of the presentation, there's reading material that you can check out, and I'm just going to kind of summarize it today. Nvak's standpoint is that the best way to approach dropping your first music NFT is in the following order: educate, engage, build, collaborate, sell, reward, evaluate. And I will get into each one of these steps. So first, educate. We said it in the beginning and we'll say it over and over again. NFTs can be super complicated and intimidating. There's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of people who have been in the space for decades and they're scary to talk to. I've been there. And so that's why it's so important to take some time at the very beginning before even trying to sell your NFT in educating yourself. Study the language, get to know some of the key terms, start talking to people, introduce yourself to people that you don't know, figure out what the platforms are, what the current landscape is like. And this will go such a long way in creating a successful NFT drop. It's just that base foundation layer of learning about the space, what tools are out there, what platforms are out there, and what do the terms and vocabulary and jargon even mean. And if you guys want additional resources, I have so many that I can share with you over email, so just shoot me a message and I can share. So number 2, we have engage. So now you have a semi-good idea of what some of the words mean in Web3. You know some of the projects that are out there. Maybe you found an NFT project that you like. Now it's time to actually engage. Buy your first NFT. Figure out what that process looks like. Mess around on the different NFT platforms and see what you like. Join the Twitter spaces. Start talking to people. Get to know firsthand through experience what it's like to operate in the NFT space. And the most important step in this engagement part of the process is really figuring out what you like and what your why is. Every NFT and every NFT project and every community is different. Maybe one project and one NFT collection is all about yoga, and everyone that holds this NFT is super interested in yoga. And if you collect the NFT, then you get access to exclusive yoga classes once a month. And maybe another project is all about doing nonprofit work in Brazil. And every NFT is so different, and it's so important that you find what you like and what you resonate with, because that will really help you avoid burnout long term, and will also help you apply these different strategies to your own project. So maybe you loved Snoop Dogg's evolving tour poster and you're like, I want to do something like that. Next time I'm on tour, I'm going to try to sell a tour poster NFT. Maybe you hate the idea of a monkey metastar pop star, and so you probably will not invite Shilly to collaborate with you on your next album. So it's so important. And then the last thing here on this engagement step is figuring out your why. People buy NFTs, people jump into the Web3 space for so many different reasons. So you have people who maybe they just want to make a quick buck, or you have people who want to really get to know their collectors or their holders on a deeper level, or people who are just in the space because this technology enables cooler extensions of their artwork. There's so many different reasons to get into NFTs, but knowing your why and what you're interested in and what you resonate with and what your goals are will really go a long way in planning your first NFT drop. So now you've educated yourself, you've explored the space, you've engaged, you've bought your first NFT, you found something that you like, and you know why you're in the space and why you want to engage. Now it's time to build a community. And we've said it before, but Rome was not built in a day, and neither is an NFT community. Strong NFT projects are built around strong communities, strong groups of passionate, like-minded people who are interested in similar things. Maybe they all found the same visual artist that they like. They all like the same song. They're all interested in yoga. But that strong community base is who you'll be selling your NFTs to in the future. I'm not sure if Sammy is on. I know Sammy had to jump for 20 minutes, but Sammy, oh, sweet. Hey, I know you have a really good analogy here in building a community versus building a customer base. Would you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that we spent a lot of time with Annika is exactly what Hannah has kind of brought to a normal, digestible plan for you to look at. And this is exactly what we've done with Annika for about 6 months before we ever thought about selling anything. Why? Because it's really important to understand that you selling something to somebody is getting a customer, right? When you are gifting things to people and inviting them to be a part of whatever it is that you're building, you're then now asking them to participate. You didn't ask for something in return. You just wanted them to be with you. So it's really important that when building a community, a real community, that you aren't starting with, hey, buy something from me. It's, hey, let me invite you in. Let me gift you this. And if you're interested in going on this journey with me, you're in for a ride kind of vibes. Because I think it's really important to understand, and as you ladies continue to dive deeper into Web3, into this whole space, you will hear that word community a lot. Community, community, community. But it's really not a community if all you're doing is selling things to people. It's a reciprocal relationship. It's a relationship that you would want to have with anybody, and you're going to be like, cool, I meet Hannah, and I'm not going to go to Hannah and be like, hey, Hannah, buy my record. I just met you. Hang on a second. Can you maybe take me for a date for a second? Or can we go to the park? Can we go for a walk and talk to each other and learn about, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's really important when you guys are building communities that you understand that it's not that you're building a customer base, but you're actually building people that want to participate in your world.
It's like your fan base. So I know Sean had a question earlier about, well, what do I do if my fans are all on Spotify? How do I get them over to the blockchain? It's really about building that fan base, that community, member by member, and inviting them into your project. The way we did this with Annika Rose when she first got started in Web3 was through POAPs. POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol, and you can think of them like digital stickers. So say everyone that attended this Zoom gets a digital sticker saying that they attended this Zoom. It's like a badge. Annika started handing out POAPs to every single person that she met. If they joined her Twitter space, if they went to her concert. And then before she even sold an NFT, she had 500 POAP holders, 500 people that she had gifted free stickers to that she could then track. And she ended up saying everyone who had a POAP got a discount and early access to her first music NFT. So it's incorporating rewards, gifting, thank yous. It's inviting people in, building that community one by one, and hoping that those people stay and are incentivized to stay through the perks as well.
And then also, Hannah, there's a question here. Are we converting our listeners from Web2 to join our Web3 community, or are we finding a new community in Web3 on top of having a separate community in Web2?
That is
great
such a question.
great question. There is no one way about this, because let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you are already an artist in the traditional way of releasing music, and you've got a following on Spotify, and say you have, similar to Annika, a couple hundred, like 100,000 monthly listeners. She's an up and coming artist. Do those people that are following or listening to Annika's music translate to Web3? Not necessarily. Some will, and some will not. Why would someone that listens to Annika traditionally come to the Web3 space? The reason is because, oh, wait, I see that Annika is doing something special for those people that are engaging with me in that space. I found her on DSPs. I found her on Spotify, but that's passive. That's just me listening and being like, okay, cool, this is a really great artist. I like it. I'm going to like it. I'm going to add to a playlist. But if I want to go deeper, I'll do some research and figure out how can I engage with Annika in this new world. So it's kind of it's not a direct answer like yes or no. It's kind of like everything. It's another vehicle. It's another place for your listeners to just get deeper with you. Remember, on Spotify, I don't know if Martina listened to my record 100,000 times. I know if Annika or Hannah bought 5 of my albums. I know that Hannah went ahead and bought 5 of my records, collected every free thing that I put out there. And now I can say, hey, Hannah, I'm going to fly you, as an example, I'm going to fly you to Los Angeles to come hang out with me for the day. Maybe you'll get a studio credit as a producer, you know, for helping support me as an artist so much. It's really completely up to the artist and the individual, how they want to engage their audience. This is simply another tool and another way for you as an artist to be able to build that audience.
But yeah, that was a great question. And we've seen it go both ways. And it really depends on how you engage with your audience. And then I see Nada's question, in the grand scheme of things, who on an artist team controls the marketing sales strategies for everything metaverse NFT related? Very good question. If you're at Nvak Collective, Sammy, myself, and Ari in Spain are the ones that really work hand in hand with the artists and help them develop their own strategies. I would say in the major label system, it's slowly popping up new roles to do just this type of work. I would say the traditional industry is probably a bit slow to adopt all of this. So you may not have somebody on the team quite yet who's super well versed in NFTs and Web3 and able to help you like you need it. A lot of artists do it themselves too. There's so many independent artists. I would say the majority of artists in Web3 right now, I know that's a general statement, but so many are independent and they're just doing it themselves. So I hope that answers it.
I see another question here from Layal. How does an artist find the time for this on top of everything else? I love this question because it's a very honest question. And the reality is, how badly do you want what you want? At the end of the day, you as an artist create your luck. What do I mean by that? You are the arbiter and the person that is moving forward in the very existence of how you want to be perceived, how you want to connect, and how much effort you're willing to put into your craft. In the case of music, everything that I've understood about music since a little boy is you must eat, sleep, drink, and breathe this. If this is what you want, this is no different than you trying to be a doctor or a surgeon or the best physician in the planet or the best researcher or architect in the planet. You put in the time. And what's beautiful about this space is that unlike a lot of, you know, let's say you put in a lot of effort and time and energy into TikTok, it's completely reliant on something that is out of your control, which is an algorithm, right? Maybe, thankfully, someday your efforts every day being consistent, putting out that content, making great content, etc., will raise its hand and break through that algorithm. Here, With Web3, you do see direct impact on the time spent versus your output and receiving those individuals coming to you, building that audience, building that community, and potentially building those collectors. But it is really wholeheartedly all about how much you, the individual, is willing to put into this. And I don't mean like just Web3, holistically.
Nada.
Hey guys, I have a quick question because like a reoccurring thought that comes to my mind is how I don't want to say uneducated the Egyptian scene is, but like we're not familiar with a lot of things regarding NFT, which means that fan bases, even if they're really small, don't really know much about this. So have you guys ever had any experience dealing with an artist who was catering to with an artist who is catering to an audience that is a bit unfamiliar with NFTs and what they maybe did to kind of orient them with it, pull them into it, make them feel like it's not this weird, scary world, so that they engage with their work?
I'd say every artist that we work with is in that.
I was literally about
so it's not even a MENA region thing. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say, and
okay.
We said at the beginning, but this is new technology. This can be, it can be an intimidating space. There's rarely going to be a case where all the fans already know about it. So every artist that Sammy and I have worked with, and I'm sure Steph could say the same,
Yes.
has had to do some education and some onboarding. I have two answers here. One, and Sammy, I'd like you to start actually, but one answer is depending on the platforms that you use, they do have an existing listener and user base that we can explain later. And then Sammy, I'm sure, has some advice on onboarding fans.
Absolutely. So a really great example of this would be our artist in Lebanon, Talia Lahoud. She's got a huge audience on TikTok and on YouTube. She has grown her audience because first of all, she's an incredible artist. Her voice is beyond mind-blowing. But she started building her audience based on covers. And then we've transitioned into doing her original work and her producing and writing and creating that. She had less than 200 followers on Twitter or X now. Since she started her journey in releasing music this way, as well as DSPs, etc., her following went from less than 200 to nearly 1,000 in under 3 months. She's at like 980 something followers on X. Her first ever NFT and first song that she released on her own was on Sound XYZ, which we'll get into later at the end of this course. First Arabic song, fully Arabic song on this platform. And she generated over 1.7 ETH, which is roughly at today's rate, nearly $4,000 on her first ever song drop. Not ever having released music on chain before. How did she do that? For about 2 months prior, she would go on Twitter or X, speak on spaces, showcase her voice, ask other artists in the community or on the internet to join her space so that new faces would learn about her. She would join other spaces, highlighting her voice, building that audience. And you literally do this one by one. And then you start slowly incorporating this into your just everyday. It becomes like brushing your teeth. It's like, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to do a Twitter space. And it's like this. And you keep nurturing that. Sure, it's taxing. Sure, it's difficult. And sometimes you don't want to do it. But once again, at the end of the day, the question that you must be asking yourself is, why am I doing this? What is my purpose to do this? What is my goal? If my goal as an artist is to engage and create moments and experiences with people, this is the best way, in my opinion, to be able to enable an audience, not passively.
So just to like reiterate what Layal was asking, and I had a similar concern, did she find a way to kind of do her, I would now say, traditional marketing on Web 2 and make that like cohesively seamless with her marketing for Web 3, so it's not her having to shoot a lot of different content? Like, is there a way for you to create like a comprehensive marketing strategy that encompasses both?
Yes, that's a good question. So I said this earlier, but we should never think about it as Web 2 versus Web 3. One's evil, one's not. They can work together. So for example, bringing it back to Talia Lahoud, she dropped her Samra music video on YouTube, had a YouTube premiere, had like a YouTube watch party with her fans. And then she also dropped the video as an NFT. And she did both, and both were incorporated into her release strategy, her marketing plan, and each had their own marketing drivers. So for example, Web3, a lot of the people who are hanging out in Web3 are on X, they're on Spaces. So in order to promote her Samra music video drop, she was in Spaces, she was performing, she was talking to people, she was tweeting, and that was part of that marketing strategy. Whereas her traditional music video release, she was leaking clips on TikTok, and she was posting Instagram snippets on her or story snippets of the video and reaching two different audiences. And sometimes the people who found out about it on Instagram were like, I want to own this. And so they went and purchased it as an NFT when that dropped. So they work hand in hand.
And another point with that, Nada, with Talia, you know, and Annika for that matter, all of our artists, we try, it is not the rule, by the way, but we do try to release the track first on chain as an NFT before the drop on traditional DSPs. Why would we do that? This is a really good question. These are us new up and coming artists, right? Let's say you, Nada, had a track that was coming out 2 weeks from now, but you were like, I want to do this on chain. I'm going to drop it. And let's say you did 100 editions, right? Only 100. And let's say you sold out of those 100 editions. Now you have created a social signal online that says Nada has 100 people or 100 editions of my song released and purchased. I could go to the Orchard, I could go to Sony, I can go to any distributor and be like, hey, by the way, there are people here supporting and championing this artist. Maybe you want to put some gas over here, right? So it gives an opportunity for us to be able to say, hey, there might be something swelling up over here. Pay attention. Hey, there's people willing to spend some money over here. Pay attention. Because very soon, not yet, but very soon, NFTs will count with the RIAA to get a platinum record one day, for Billboard charts, all that kind of stuff. They're sales at the end of the day. So you just incorporate it as a seamless flow. I know that Nada is going to release a record 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks prior or a week prior, we're going to do it on chain. We could even do it the same day if we wanted to. Or we could do it. There was a question in the chat. What happens if I want to do a release on DSPs and then an NFT later? You can also do that. You know, let's say hypothetically speaking, Nada, your track has 10 million streams and you're like, this is my biggest song. I want to give people exposure to this biggest song and only limit it to 20 people. And all those 20 people are going to get X if you wanted to do this thing, right? You could even do royalty sharing if you wanted to. Again, completely up to your mind and how you want to kind of like do and engage, but remembering that these are all meant to be experiences for your collectors, for your listeners, for your audience.
And going back to that, as an example from Nvak's roster, he mentioned Annika Rose. Like, for example, Annika Rose's first music NFT was for her song Bruises, which we ended up doing the music video game for. And because she had done all of this community building work and education work and engagement work before ever trying to sell to her fans, her first NFT sold out in 7 minutes. It was the first time, and it sold out on pre-sale too. So it didn't even reach public sale. And that was the first artist and the first time that had ever been done on the Sound XYZ platform. It was a big deal. After that happened, Sammy and I then had the leverage to bring that to the Orchard, the distributor, for example, Maya, who you guys met on Saturday. And they then have fuel to say, oh, people are really interested in this song. Maybe we should pitch it to the better playlists. And it gives you a little bit more leverage if you have that type of data and can show that people are interested in it before it's even released to the world.
And one more thing to add with that, that song made it to New Music Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was a huge, like, everyone in Web3 was like, what? Because they're like, oh my God, a Web3, quote unquote, Web3 artist is now on New Music Friday. And so for many people, they looked at this and they were like, could this be because of the success in Web3? Maybe. It was not, and it always, everyone always has this thing in their head. They're like, when something goes great, they're like, oh, it was because of this. Remember, it's a culmination of things. It's not one particular thing. There's many facets into making a successful artist a success. And just remembering that, just making sure whatever it is that you're building, this ball of energy is moving together up, 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 up.
Sandra?
Thank you guys so much. That was the best answer ever.
Okay, so my question, it's a bit more general, but with each session so far, I feel like a new window or a new door opens up and I get so excited to explore it. So this just happened right now. And I wanted to ask because, okay, cool, I have all of those ideas, but of course I need a strategy. So I don't come off as an artist that's all over the place, which leads to my next question. Is there such a thing as an artist that's all over the place? Or is it an artist that's experimenting? Would you say there's some sort of rule book, or not rule book, but some sort of strategy would advise me to start with? I'm just trying to combine everything. Yeah.
Well, what's beautiful is that you're looking at a very simple way to tackle what you've just asked.
Yeah.
These 7 steps are a way. It is not the way. There is no playbook, rule book. There's no playbook to life, because one day all of a sudden, you did something randomly on some social media platform, and then you're like the biggest person in the planet, and you're like, why did this just happen? And that's possible. But I would say what's really important, yes, experiment. Yes, do things that you probably wouldn't do 100%. But what is important, that is you have a goal, that you have a vision, that you have some form of a narrative or story that you're trying to convey, and you just incorporate this in it as well.
Okay.
It's really important to give people, like, I'm going to listen to Nada, I'm going to listen to you, Sandra, your music. And if you were to release a banger that's hip hop or whatever it is, and then the next song that you release is like a ballad, I don't know really what you sound like. I know that you have versatility, but if you're like, put out 4 songs and 4 of those songs are bangers in the hip hop space, and then all of a sudden you do a ballad, you're like, oh, wow, this artist is this, and they have also this nice side to them, right? It's really important to have a goal and have a vision towards what you're trying to accomplish. But I do encourage experimenting. I do encourage trying one-off things, because that's how we learn. That's how we kind of figure out how we want to participate.
And that's until I figure out like what sticks. And then once it sticks, I should follow it, right?
Focus on that. Exactly. If you see something is raising its hand and you're like, people are resonating here, move in that direction.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Molly?
You guys hear me? Because my
It's breaking up a little bit. You're also frozen on my side. I don't know if anyone else can hear her.
Yeah, it's frozen here too.
Frozen.
Okay, I'll just text it out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so?
Hello. So I had a question that's kind of related to Sandra's question. It's more general. So I had 3 original songs out, and my first original song was like I let it out in the most random way. I just posted it out there, and it got more than, I think now it's at 2 million I don't know what it's called, watchers on YouTube, and it blew up in the MENA region. And after that song, I started getting more familiar with going to producers and doing stuff like that. So I wanted to take it more professional, do the marketing strategy, start doing like a strategy and stuff. And it never clicked like the random one. And my question is, when do I give up on the strategy? Because you try with the strategy, and then you feel like, okay, I tried once with some type of video, another one with another type of video. When do I just say, okay, I think enough marketing, that's not it, let me just give it up?
So I think one thing that's coming up here is these are like traditional releases that are very, they're, you know, the DSPs are kind of gate kept. It's all built by an algorithm. You don't really know how they're choosing the songs that get put on the best playlists. It's really hard to predict the success of traditional releases. You can do all the work that you can do the best marketing strategy in the world, but at the end of the day, it's very controlled by the algorithms. To bring it back to Web3, I will say there is more of a direct correlation between the amount of work that you put in and the reward that comes out of that. Sammy, I saw you were about to unmute your mic, so you can add.
Yeah, no, like 100% this. Jade and Violet being this artist that she just kind of talked about earlier today. The young man literally had no followers on X or on Twitter, and he put in the work to build that audience one by one. Now he's, I think Hannah mentioned 10,000. He's at like 12,500 followers now. So like in like about a month's time, he's grown another 2,000 followers. Sometimes strategies, to your point, just nothing happens. And a lot of that, it has to do with the sheer fact that it's out of your control. You're relying things, you can do everything right. You can have that strategy, you can do all this stuff, but you're leaving it up to an algorithmic computer that's going to maybe get it in front of people or maybe not. Where here with Web3, if your goal is to sell 1,000 records, you're going to do everything possible to get 1,000 records sold. It's in your hands, right? So I think it's really important to distinguish the difference between having a strategy, having a focus, and being able to execute on said strategy. And then also me understanding that sometimes that strategy may not work. Sometimes it just is like you just said, you put out a record and it just went crazy. You've tried doing replicating that and you haven't had that success, right? So again, where you have an opportunity to kind of create that luck is by getting these collectors one by one, setting, cool, I have 100 songs, 25 songs, sell out 25 songs, do everything possible to create that moment, to sell out those 25 editions. Do that simultaneously, keep doing that. Now do 50, keep doing that. Now do 100, keep doing that. And then all of a sudden, you've created enough demand over the course of X amount of time that now you have people that are like, I want one of these limited edition, Yasso records. How do I get one? And then all of a sudden you go on YouTube or you go on DSPs and you've got maybe 500 people talking about Yasso before you've even released anything because you've already built an audience.
And Sammy, would you want to touch a little bit on the 1,000 True Fans concept?
Absolutely. So, you for artists, as we talked about with like DSPs and DSPs and all these different ways to be able to release music and not really knowing who your audience is, there's a huge thing to say when you know that every single time that you release something, you're going to be able to sell $5, $10 worth of merch, call it, or a record for that matter in this case. You can actually survive with 1,000 patrons that are supporting you. That's a goal that anyone and everyone should have, because it's important to understand that you can't reach 1 million people at once, but you can reach 5. That can then become 20. And think about like playing a show. When you play your first show in Egypt, in Cairo, you're probably going to play in front of, 5, 20, 30 people, and they're all your friends and your family. And then the next time that you play that show, hopefully you did really great and captured an audience, and now it's going to be 60 people, 65 people. And you keep doing this, treating it like playing shows until you get to that 1,000 cap. And once you've gotten to that 1,000 cap room, or in this case, that 1,000 cap true fan, you can probably calculate, I'm going to make roughly between this amount of money and this amount of money because I have an audience here.
Yeah, so as an example, if you have 1,000 true fans, you can sell an NFT for $10 a piece to them, and you can get $10,000 from an NFT drop. Whereas like you could have 1,000 listens on Spotify and make 3 cents. So that's sort of where the 1,000 true fans theory comes into play. Demo?
Yeah, this is kind of unrelated, but I wanted to know what's your opinion about AI marketing, because I've seen some websites who claim that they do marketing using AI, so they target the right people for you and stuff like that. I'm also aware of like there is a website who create beats and stuff for you, like generate beats, depends on what you actually what you reference and what you like. So what you guys think about AI and what it's doing in the market and how can we use it?
Great question. AI is probably one of the biggest reasons that NFTs and crypto and Web3 matter so much. Hannah talked about provenance earlier. Well, let's say you, Demo, are a big artist and you have millions of followers, and I happen to make an AI that makes a Demo-like song. Well, how do I know that this song that's out there made by an AI is made by an AI or made by Demo? You put it on chain. There is one of the biggest things that are going to happen is that, okay, well, there's millions and millions and millions of songs that will be released by AI, and it will be very meaningful and necessary for people to understand, is this AI or is this the artist? And the only way, unhackably, unchangeable, like that is definitive to be able to say that this in fact is Demo is by saying Demo put her original piece on chain.
And then to add to that, there are so many tools that are popping up each and every day. We work with a project called Warp Sound, and the songs that are in their project are AI generated, and they are proud of that. That is their thing. That is their technology. And their community is stoked about it. They think it's really, really cool that an AI actually made this music. There are other artists and musicians who are so against it and are like, I make my own beats and I would never have an AI make my own beat. So it's really, or, say they have people who make AI music videos. I know even Sammy works with an artist named Vale from Colombia, who you guys should check out because she's amazing. She incorporated AI into her music video and had scenes created by AI, like art created by AI, incorporated into her video. So there's different ways that you can use it as a tool, but it's totally up to the artist and if they resonate with it. And some do and some don't.
I am a big advocate of AI. Hannah knows this very much. I think it's like, you know, a really exciting partner. It's not the all of everything. Now, you could make your AI art be like your focus, and you're now going to be the top AI prompter in the planet because of how you've been able to create, build, and use these tools. But as an artist, as a music artist in this case, AI can be used in really exciting ways to like help with the songwriting. Maybe it sparks an idea. Maybe it's you know, you worked with 15 different producers and 15 different artists, and they each contributed a little bit, but the AI helped kind of mold a cohesive version of that. And so it was just more of like a partner, or more of an asset, or in the case like Hannah said, a tool to help you get to where you want.
And I saw Jean actually put a comment in the chat, but artists are already like licensing out AI models of their voice. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Grimes. Grimes basically said, hey, take an AI model of my voice, make whatever song you want using my voice so that it sounds like me. But she gets royalties on it.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, different artists are embracing it at different levels. Some think it's super cool and are like, hey, I'll give you my voice, I'll give you my song, I'll give you my stems, do whatever you want with it. And other artists are like, I don't want anything to do with AI. So,
and specifically with that Grimes note, producer trio that I work with pretty closely, they literally took Grimes's voice model and used that voice model for a song that they made. And they gave her, you know, the 50% or 25% of publishing that she gets, and now she's just getting paid, and she didn't even have to do anything. So it is really a cool way, based on how you want to engage, to use these tools. Gina.
Okay, so I have two questions. If someone buys my NFT, can they publish it somewhere else, like because they have access to that, or they can't do that?
What do you mean, can they publish it somewhere else?
Like they bought my NFT, they now have the song. Can they publish it like on Spotify, for example?
No,
Or
no.
like
No. All the rules still apply. I mean, they could, and then all of a sudden you, Gina, are going to be like, no, take it down, cease and desist order, sue, whatever you want to do, take legal action. But no. The NFT is literally like saying, I'm going to buy a vinyl record, and I bought this edition of this vinyl record to copy, depending on how you, the artist, put that NFT out. If it's about royalties or if it's about access, there's those things, but they cannot publish NFT because they own it. However, I will say, I like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for instance, as an example of an art, or like, you know, a character NFT. They have purposely said anyone that purchases this NFT, that character, they could do anything they want with it. They can make clothing with it. They own the rights to that NFT. So they own the commercial rights. That's not always the case. That happens to be the case for that project. If you, Gina, were like, anyone that buys this NFT can take my vocal stem from that song and use it in anything that they want, you've given them that right. But it's not, again, you have to stipulate what this is for. If it's just simply to consume as a record and I want to own a limited edition of your record, then that's all that it is.
But can they leak it like on TikTok? Like if I'm making a pre-release NFT, especially for like my dedicated fans, and I'm like, yeah, you can go listen to the song before anyone else. Can they go and then leak it, for example, on TikTok, and then my release would be screwed?
They can't upload it NFT on the TikTok because it needs to go through a database, right? So like TikTok is still going through the Orchard or some distributor, DistroKid, you know, TuneCore, whatever. So it would have to be uploaded and somehow be actually from that artist. if I was to do an NFT and Gina, you wanted a music NFT and you wanted to screen record that NFT and put it out there, you could do that. Someone could do that. But again, what is the harm, I guess, in that? The question is really, how are you addressing your releases? Because it's no different, I would say, than like if you were to have a special Facebook chat and you put a link, a streaming link in that Facebook chat, and someone screen recorded that chat. I mean, you kind of have to do some work on that side and make sure that whoever's putting stuff out is getting taken down. But otherwise, I mean, technically, there's no one stopping you from doing that.
Okay, thank you. My second question, I'm so sorry, I have so many questions. Are the NFTs, like if I'm a viewer, I'm not posting stuff on there, what I see is it determined geographically, because on TikTok, for example, the algorithm is mainly determined by your geographical location, which is a big obstacle for me because my music is very Western and my target segment isn't really here around me. And TikTok is just convinced that, no, you're here. Like I downloaded VPN, I made so many workarounds, but it's just, no, you're here and your audience are here. So is it the same for NFTs, or is it determined differently who my content gets pushed out to?
Good question. And I would say that one of the beauties of these platforms is that there isn't an algorithm driving who sees what. You know, if we'll go into Sound XYZ next, but if you go on the Sound XYZ platform, there are certain tracks that are on the homepage, and it's because they're doing super well at that moment, and maybe that will push some songs up to the top. That, you know, they have a lot of collectors, there's a lot of noise around them, but otherwise there isn't like an algorithm saying, oh, Gina is in Egypt, so she gets to see just this NFT, and me in Los Angeles, I don't get to see that NFT.
Something else
Okay, thank you.
to add to that, Gina, is that, okay, you put out your record and I found you on Sound as an example. Again, this is a platform. I, as a listener or a collector, can also share your music on X or wherever, and I would get rewarded for sharing your music if someone purchased it. So I get like a referral fee, which is very different than, hey, share my link on Spotify and that's it. Where if I share my link on Spotify or on Sound of your record and Hannah collects it, I'll get a 5% from that sale, and you get all of, you know, whatever your whatever you sold that record for, 0.1 ETH or $50 or $20 or $10 or $5.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing. Okay, well, just for time's sake, I'm going to move into the next bullet point. So we got through the first three. So you have educated yourself at this point, you've engaged in the space, you've bought your first NFT, you've figured out what you like, you know your why, what your goals are for your own project. You've started to build that community. You have kind of a community base that you could sell an NFT to. Next, we would encourage collaboration. So say, for example, Molly is a visual artist and she has this really strong community who's really, really, really passionate about Molly's artwork. And I am an artist who has my own community and they're really into jazz music. Maybe I invite Molly to do the cover artwork for my next jazz single, and then we are merging those two communities and growing that fan base and finding a common ground between these different communities. So for an example from our own roster, Annika Rose, one of the first NFTs that she ever purchased was a party bear. They're like, it was a purple bear that wears a birthday hat and it has a song behind it. And they're really cute. I can send it to you. But that's what she liked. So that's the first thing that she bought. And so when it came time to release her first music NFT, she wanted to do a giveaway with party bears. She's like, party bears have been with me since the beginning. I love this community. they're not my specific community, but I just think what they're doing is great. So I'm going to invite them to participate in this giveaway, and it's only for party bears. And the winner of the giveaway gets an airdrop of my next music NFT, gets my music NFT for free. So there's different ways to collaborate with different types of artists, different projects, different platforms. And really the goal is finding common ground, building the community, and joining forces together to make them even stronger. And so now you have your community, you collaborated, you have something really cool, then you can start to sell. And we put sell towards the end because it's so important that you do all of these steps before that. And you build that stairway step by step. So when it comes time to sell, we do encourage that you do your own research on the platform that you'd like to use. You do your own research on what the market is like. Are people selling music NFTs for $1,000 or are they selling them for $100? If everyone in the space is selling their music NFT for $100 and you decide to sell yours for $1,000, you can do that because it's entirely up to you. But know that it may have different results than the people who are selling for $100. So we just encourage you to do your research, pay attention to what's going on, and value your work how you would want to value it. And then after that, say that you have sold your first NFT, maybe you did a limited edition of 5 NFTs, it was your first NFT. Now you have 5 holders, you have 5 collectors. Treat them as your friends. Like they're not just your customers. Those are your 5 homies. Those are your 5 people that showed up for you from the beginning and you want to take care of them. And the beauty of doing this work in Web3 is you can actually reward them. So you can say that those first 5 people who purchased your first 5 NFTs, now they get discounts on your merch for life, or they get early access to your next NFT, or they get access to meet you at your next show in Cairo. We always encourage rewarding the people who show up for you and building that relationship to that level. Not everybody does this in Web3. Even you can collect something and there's no perks at all. There's nothing attached to it and people just collect it to collect it. But Nvak's standpoint, we typically encourage our artists to reward their fans because the fans are what these artists built their entire careers off of. Nada?
Yeah, I wanted to ask regarding the 4th step about collaboration. So the only metaphor in my mind for collaborating would be something like channels on Instagram, or maybe, as you guys said, like Telegram groups and stuff. So what does that look like in the metaverse, since there are really no, as far as I understood, there aren't really like any networking things like Facebook and Meta, or did I not get that?
Actually, that's great. There are social Web3 platforms that exist.
Okay.
That, like how we were talking, or how Hannah was mentioning, if you spent all this time building an audience, and let's say Instagram goes down, well, all those followers go down, they're gone, right? And you also don't go from Instagram to Twitter and have the same following in both places, right? So imagine that Nada or Demo or Dina, you had your Dima.eth wallet and you created a username. You now can collect all those followers on that username, and it's not owned by a platform. It's owned by Dima. It's owned by Nada. And you can compose or transfer those followers in different open applications. This is not, again, a rule. This has to be specific to Web3 social. But there are social platforms that exist today that you can upload a song immediately on a social graph, have people collect right then and there. Telegram groups are very big. There are new chats that are coming up, and we're using and experimenting right now with a group called Salsa, and we can token gate these chats. So for instance, Rosa's performing tomorrow, And if I go to these people that are coming up to Rosa and I have them, hey, scan this QR code, you're going to get a digital sticker that shows you were here, and you're going to get access to this chat. Now I can go ahead and say everybody that's been collecting or going to her shows, I can see on the chat who's been at 5 shows, who's been to 1 show, who's been to, you know what I'm saying? So there are ways and new tools that are being built right now that enable this.
And then I would add to that for collaboration, really it's kind of the same reasons that like traditional music industry collaborations come into play. So like, for example, Nvak side, Rosalind wrote and released a song with Duncan Lawrence, if you guys know Duncan Lawrence. Why did both of our teams want those 2 artists to collaborate? Well, 1, they were both fans of each other. They liked each other's music. 2, they both came out of Eurovision. So they had fan bases who were kind of interested in the same things. They obviously Eurovision viewers. And by joining Duncan Lawrence's and Rosalind's fan bases, both grow and both kind of like get something out of another. So it's the same in Web3. Say you wanted there's this artist who makes digital NFT merch that you think is so cool. Maybe for your next NFT drop, you bring in that merch art designer and kind of merge those 2 groups. Cool. Okay. So we finally made it through the end. You've done it all. You sold your first NFT, you rewarded your fan base. The last step is just evaluating. So after every single drop, you should be looking at it, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't. Maybe you priced something too high. You didn't sell as many as you wanted to. That's okay. There's always another drop where you can adjust your strategy. Maybe for this specific drop, all you did to promote it was 1 Instagram story. And maybe for the next one, you want to try hosting spaces every single day and talking about the drop that way. So it's just really important to evaluate the impact and what you accomplished.
I also want to just add to this, and as Hannah's going to the next slide, and you can go to the next slide too, Hannah. Do not crush yourself, beat yourself up if you do not sell out tomorrow. For instance, Jaden, he's released 1,800 editions, and he did this now 3 weeks ago, and he's now 25% done. He is doing everything possible every day to reach his goal of selling out when it happens, but he's actively pushing in that direction. So do not beat yourself up if something doesn't sell out right away. It's more likely that it will not, and have that in your mind that it'll happen when and if you put that effort to go ahead and sell things out. Also, another thing is don't try releasing 1,000 items for your first drop. Do 10, do 5, do 20. And that should be your goal. Go ahead, Dima.
Yeah, super random question. Does age matter? Because
no.
When I get older, it feels like harder, like limiting my mind. I don't know.
Age does not matter. Age is also a construct, and again, it's completely based on the individual. I mean, if you are 70 years old and you decided that you've never made a song before and then you want to make a song, you can do that, and there's no one stopping you from doing that. There was a 90-year-old woman that just won a Grammy. She never released released music beforehand. She was like, I want to do music. And she released music at 90 years old and won a Grammy. There is nothing. You are the only person, not you, Demo. The individual is the person that's stopping anything from happening or allowing things to happen.
Okay. Now I want to take some time to show you guys one of the biggest music NFT platforms called SoundXYZ. I'm going to share my screen, but I'm also going to send this link in our WhatsApp chat because I'd love for you guys to just take some time to explore it yourselves. You can think of SoundXYZ as like the SoundCloud of Web3 is probably the closest analogy, but it's where artists are uploading their music. You can make playlists, you can buy music NFTs, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like now before passing the mic over to Steph. Can you guys see?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see.
Okay.
Miss.
So this is Sound XYZ. I mentioned earlier, you can see at the top the tracks that are doing super well. So viral sounds this week. These are music NFTs that are just really like selling editions quickly or selling a lot of editions. If you scroll down, you can see music NFT drops that are live. You can even see the people who are collecting the most NFTs this week. And the beauty of this, let me see if I can find Camel, for example. Camel, we know Camel, he's in Vietnam. Camel collects everything. And he's linked his Twitter. So you can click his Twitter on his profile and you can reach out to Camel directly and say, Camel, I noticed that you collected Annika Rose's NFT. Well, my music that I'm dropping on Friday is really, same genre as Annika. I think you may really like it. I hope you can check it out. So for all of Nvak's NFT drops, to be transparent, me and the artists and the team, we're in the DMs. We're checking out who the biggest collectors are. We're checking out who's attending their spaces or who's following them. And we're letting them know, hey, I have a drop coming up. I would love for you to check it out. I'd love for you to listen to my song. So that's an example. Let me show you an artist profile. I will show you Annika Rose.
Stephanie, wanna while she's looking for Annika, there's a question as what is a mint?
What is a mint? So it's like you're buying, but instead of buying, we say we're minting. We're like I'm buying this NFT, so I'm minting it on the blockchain. So it's in my wallet and it's mine. Or minting it on the blockchain, like to upload one Ethereum, Solana. So that's what I'm doing that to keep.
Yeah, we're having a hard time, Steph, with your audio. It's a little choppy. But on that count, in that note, minting, as she mentioned, is like it's two things. One, purchasing, I minted an NFT, I purchased one. And it could also mean two, you've uploaded, you minted your work. It's kind of like a two-way word that means purchasing or collecting, I minted it, or it also means I uploaded it.
Yeah, so minting is basically when you create anything on the blockchain. Simple as that.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Anna? Okay, so I wanted to show you guys a sample artist profile. So this is Annika Rose, the artist we've been referencing throughout this class. She's on our roster. This is what her profile looks like. So she got to choose her song that she put at the top, Stalker, one of her latest singles. You can see who her top collectors are. So these are her super fans. These are the people who are collecting all of her music, showing up each and every time. Maybe they own 10 editions of a song instead of just one. Sammy is SDR. So Sammy is Annika's super fan. Cooper, we know all these people personally. So you actually, as you get collectors and as they keep showing up for you and as you're communicating with them on Twitter and you're DMing them and you really start to form relationships with them. And that's the beauty of it and how it's different than we can actually see who the super fans are for Annika and Web3. And we could not tell that on Spotify. These are all of her NFT drops. So her latest one is Stalker. She had another on Time Dynamite, Lost, In My Head. These are all songs that she has also released on Spotify and all the other traditional streaming platforms. And she just also did a music NFT drop for each one of them. People made playlists with her music on them. They pop up there. Those are just user playlists. And you can also see the different people who are interacting with her on a daily basis. So someone added her song Stalker to a playlist, J Vinyl Shop's Elite Picks. And then she has her bio down here. Some people have longer bios, some people have shorter. Like we touched in the marketing class, she just has one sentence: writer of songs, walker of streets. But this is what, if you were to all make an artist profile, this is what yours would look like. Nvak also has a profile. And at the end of this program, for the artists who are interested, Nvak will be releasing music NFTs of your music that you write during the program. We can create artist profiles for each one of you. And we can help strategize your own NFT drops with Sammy and me. And we can make your artist profiles on sound. Demo or Rita? Demo, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so to understand this correctly, the format of this is like audio and photo and video, right?
Yeah. Sound is like releasing a song on any other platform. It's, you have a piece of like cover art in the audio.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I quite understood everything you're talking about, like this whole Web3 thing, and like how to we collect the, you know, like we collect the music and but like I'm lost at the part of like how to start this. Like now I'm here, how to start this, you know? Like how can I have like access it, have an account? What do I do exactly?
You will get access at the very end. You need to have at the end of this course, everything that we are going to teach you that has to do with Web3, you must have a wallet. And that wallet is your gateway into all of these platforms. Hannah, you see how there's like this sign in? You don't have to actually sign in, but just push the sign in button. It gives you right away the ways that you can connect so that you can create a profile, so that you can do all of this. Sound XYZ is a platform. Remember, they are a platform. They are not the blockchain. They are a platform where they're bringing all of these different tools so that people can use. And today, you don't have to have a wallet in order to do this. However, the way that we are teaching you is like the fundamentals, the way that I think it's important for artists or individuals to have ownership over the things is by creating their own wallet. And this is part of today's class, is you all are going to create your own wallet, and you're going to be able to start playing around and accessing things.
Today,
you're going to create your own wallet.
Oh, okay, great. Perfect.
So this is one of many platforms. Sound is one of our favorites at Nvak. All of our artists drop on Sound. Nvak has our own Sound profile. They're so easy to use. The team is amazing. I can't tell you how many times the founder of Sound has hopped on a Zoom with me like this at midnight just to help me with an issue I was having on the platform. So this is just one that we recommend, but there are so many different platforms to drop your music or to drop any type of NFT. So we wanted to share this one with you. And then that brings me to my next platform, which is OasisX, which the lovely Steph here is going to tell you all about. They are one of the biggest platforms in the Middle East. And I'm going to share my screen because it has another part of the presentation. So just 1 second, but Steph, please take it away.
So guys, as you know, I am marketing lead at OasisX, and I'm very happy to present this amazing platform. Let's go to... So OasisX is the leading NFT platform in the region. So we basically allow artists, creators, even brands and organizations to create and sell their NFTs on the blockchain. We can go next. Next again.
Sorry.
Okay, so just so you guys know what type of brands we work with, here are some amazing brands like MBC Group, reward system through NFTs. We have the Fido Dido. Do you remember the 7-Up mascot during the 90s? So we're bringing him back. We have worked with Etihad Airways as well to launch NFTs. Next.
Ah, how did that happen?
Okay.
Thanks for your patience.
Take your time.
Maybe don't make this easy.
It's okay, we're recapping visually the information.
Remember all these slides. Okay.
So we're almost there. So after the list of brands that we've worked with, I'd like to show you the list of artists that we also work with that have launched over 1,000 global art collections on the platform. So we have onboarded some regional artists and some artists from all around the world. We've onboarded 600 so far from the region alone, including artists, videographers, 3D artists, and of course, musicians. Actually, we worked with Talia Lahoud, who we got the chance to work with through Nvak. Thank you guys for that. And Talia has proven to be a huge success story since her first NFT launch. So just so you guys know, you're in the best hands, and we're all here to support you in any way to succeed in this industry, of course, together with Nvak. Can we go back just a slide? I'm not sure if you guys know these artists, but I like to highlight them. There is Walid Shah, if you know him. If not, you should check him out. He's an amazing photographer. And there is Mnaura. She's a really big artist in the UAE. If you're interested in art and eventually any collabs, we have access to all these artists. Next. So another thing about OasisX is that we provide facilitation and tools and services that allow you to enter the space in the easiest way possible, I hope. So we make it easy for you to create any type of NFT using any type of media file, in your case, music. And we can help you do whatever you want on the blockchain. Another important thing is that this platform is both in English and in Arabic. And it's one of the very few, if not the only platform that supports Arabic when it comes to NFTs. Moreover, we have a dedicated team that can help you understand and walk you through creating your NFTs, selling them. And if you're interested, also please reach out. We're all here to help. Finally, I heard this question a lot. We do allow you to buy your NFTs using a credit card, meaning you do not need to own cryptocurrency. Next. And speaking of cryptocurrency and wallets, now is the fun part. I will walk you through a step-by-step guide to open your first wallet. Are you guys ready?
Amazing. And
all right.
You guys have, oh, sorry. I was just going to say for all the participants, you guys have these instructions in your email. You have them for the mobile app on your phone, or for those who don't want the mobile app and prefer the browser on your laptop, on your internet window, you can do that way as well.
Exactly. So we would like you to open up a wallet because we want to congratulate you on attending this masterclass by sending you a small soulbound token to your wallet. And the soulbound token basically is a certificate of completion and participation in this class, and it will forever be on the blockchain. So you're not going to have to run after your university or your school to get your degree. So here's the step-by-step guide. First, if you guys could go to your App Store or your Play Store if you're on an Android. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're following up, and if everything is good. Search for MetaMask and hit download.
And we'll give you guys some time to go ahead and do that.
Yes.
Also, for all you ladies, please, please, please get a piece of paper and pen
Yeah.
and ready to go once you've downloaded the app.
It's very important to have a piece of paper and a pen for security reasons. Oh, amazing, Rawan. Happy to hear. So yes, you can follow the steps. They're quite simple, very clear. Just one important note that I will emphasize on is please, please do not take a screenshot of your seed phrase, which you will see later, which means a series of words that will help you unlock your wallet. Do not take a screenshot. Instead, please write it down on a secure piece of paper that you pack and keep with your most secure items at home.
So this first slide is just going to the App Store and downloading the app. So I can move on probably, I think.
It's just create a wallet, get started, and then the next step, you need to create your password, go with an easy password. You can also have your face recognition help you open it. And then you go to the seed phrase. MetaMask usually asks you to watch a small video to understand what it's about, but your seed phrase is a series of words in a specific order that you use to, it's like a key that you use to unlock your wallet. You don't always need to use it, but if you want to log in somewhere else, if you want to recover it, so on and so forth.
And this is so, so important that you write this down in a safe place, because if anybody gets it, it's like giving them the key to your bank account.
Exactly.
And
no screenshots.
No screenshots. Don't send it over text. Don't send it in an email. You know, keep this for yourself because it's how you access your wallet, and you want to make sure that it is very secure.
If you have any technical issues, please do not hesitate to ask. It's okay, Martina. You can do it later at your own timing. Whenever you want, it's fine. Is everyone else doing okay?
Yeah, it seems like everybody. Any other questions? You guys have the questions in your email inbox, so if you have any issues, we can also do it anytime.
I got a question. Is it better to add the Face ID or without it? I have my Face ID. That's fine. My phone is always secure and with me, but it depends how you feel about that. Okay, I think we can move on to the next slide. This is how we usually do these flyers and give them out at events so people can write down their seed phrases, but now you guys have your own paper, so next slide. Finally, we would like to collect your wallet address to send you your soulbound token or your certificate of participation. If you can just scan this, it will take you to a page where you put down your name, your email address, and you copy paste the wallet address from your wallet and put it there. It's relatively very easy. As soon as you sign in and go through all the steps, the first page that you will see on MetaMask, I will share. One second. The first page you will see, there's a wallet address at the very top. I cannot see myself, so I'm not sure if you can see it. It's at the very top. You just press copy and you paste it. If you have any questions, also please ask me.
It is probably going to take you all. Go ahead, Molly.
Sorry. So it's basically the address is basically what's underneath, like it says like the account name or whatever it is, and then underneath it is like, okay.
Exactly. Awesome. It says address and you just press, there's like two squares to copy and paste it there. Keep an eye on your wallet and enjoy your first airdrop.
It's a long... Sorry. There's a delay on my side. Go ahead, Sammy.
just so you all know, for Ethereum, specifically for the Ethereum blockchain, every wallet address starts with 0x. Every Ethereum wallet address starts with 0x. Very important. Once you guys have created your wallets, another point that is unbelievably important, never, ever, ever share that seed phrase with anyone. That is your safety deposit box. That is the lock and key to your most prized possession ever. Never, ever share the seed phrase with anyone. That is very different than your wallet address, just so you guys are aware.
All right, some people are asking for the link. I will share it right now.
I also sent it to the WhatsApp group just now too. So for those of you who are on WhatsApp, I sent the link there.
Oh no, Rawan, make sure you keep this one safe then. I hope you didn't lose.
This is really also extremely important. Keep this seed phrase in the safest place that you can. This is, like I said, your most prized possession. You will never give someone keys to your house, like obviously unless it's like your mother or something like this, but I wouldn't even trust. This is like your money, so like, you know, don't trust even anybody with this. But for sure, what we want to keep clear is that if you lose that seed phrase and you have funds in there, you will never be able to access that wallet if you don't have that seed phrase. So I'm kind of putting a little bit of like, I'm not trying to scare you, but it's very important that you understand that this seed phrase is like the ultimate key. So don't lose it. If you have money, if you lost it, it's okay. I hope you didn't have anything in there. So it's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with your name. It has nothing to do with your email address. It has nothing to do with anything. But definitely make sure that you're keeping that seed phrase in a safe place.
Can we talk about how cute the confetti is at the end of this? I can't. That blurry background thing is killing me.
Do you like that?
I love it. It's so cute.
Thank you. I'll share that with my developers and tell them thank you.
Cool. So yeah, the link is in the chat. It's in the WhatsApp group. And then for those wondering what your little certificates look like, you will all be getting airdrops of this token that Steph and her team made, proving that you completed this class. So that'll be like your first thing in your wallets.
I'm kind of confused. So can Sammy repeat which address not to share and which one to share? Because I couldn't keep up. I was trying to see the app.
No problem. And definitely, like, guys, please, if it's gone really fast on MetaMask itself, there's a wonderful video to go by step by step. And they literally say everything that we're saying to you in this video. So make sure that if we've been going too fast, go back to it, watch the video on MetaMask if you haven't made your wallet yet, and just digest. What not to share is the seed phrase, which is the 12 words. Do not share that with anybody ever. What you should share and what you can share is the wallet address, which starts with 0x.
It's the one right under your name on the main profile page when you log in. It's a series of numbers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I found it.
Rolla?
Hi, I'm so confused on where is the seed phrase that I shouldn't share. I only saw the secret recovery phrase.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, that's the same thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question as well. So I didn't do the tour yet, but there's no names. Like it's really you're like there's no identifiers on this. You
There
know what
is no identifier. This is the coolest thing about everything. It didn't ask your name. It didn't ask your email address. It doesn't care if you're a female or a male, or if you're white or purple or an alien. It's literally you having a wallet and a number tied to it. Now, if you were to be like, Remen, you want to say, I want to create my domain, or my, in this case, it's called ENS, which means Ethereum Name Service. Instead of you having 0x and all those numbers, it would be like remenkimi.eth, and that's your address. You would and that's also, by the way, an NFT. You would purchase that name like you would purchase like a website domain. Only difference is that it's tied to your wallet. This is like advanced class.
Yeah. I guess there are YouTube videos explaining how you could buy those domain names and stuff, right? Okay, cool.
Yes, exactly.
That was a great class, guys. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy. That makes us so happy to hear that. I know it was a lot, and I know there's a lot still to unfold. We're always available. Hannah and I are this is what we do all day, almost every day. And we really appreciate you guys giving us the time to share all this information with you. We look forward to the end of your entire intensive to hopefully be able to do a song as an NFT with you, and hopefully get a couple bucks in your pocket. And it's exciting. We're really excited for your future.
I just want to say thank you. It was such a pleasure being in this class with you guys, because the questions that you're asking really showed that you were focusing and you were understanding things that are extremely difficult to understand in such a short time span all at once. So thank you for your questions. I also learned a lot from Sam and Hannah on music NFTs. So thank you guys for that. And I had a great time. I hope you guys finish this class and create amazing music NFTs. Yeah, good luck with it.
Thank you guys so much. And as I mentioned earlier, at the end of this program, after you have music, we will be releasing that as music NFTs if you want to. So we're always here to help you create your profile, help you create your own music NFTs. That's what Sammy and I nerd out on literally every single day, starting at 7:30 in the morning. So we would love to help you do this, plan your strategy, drop your first NFT, get to know Sound XYZ. So I hope you got something out of this session. If you resonate with it, we are giving an opportunity to actually release music NFTs at the end of it. And again, you'll be getting these tokens that Steph and her team made. So thank you, Steph, for doing that. And I think, yeah, that's all we had for the class. We did not go over, but I see a few hands raised. So Gina or Rolla, if you guys have any final questions or thoughts.
Well, first, I'd like to say thank you very much. This is like the most interesting thing I've ever talked about, really. It's very new and it's very exciting. So really thank you for your time. And the second thing I wanted to tell you is that I opened like the link you sent on WhatsApp, and then it led me to like a place where I entered my email address and my name, and then the address that was in my app, but I can't find the token.
Yes, we are collecting your addresses right now, and once we have everyone's, we will be sharing the token. So,
okay, so I haven't done anything wrong.
No, you're
okay.
great.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
Also note to you guys whenever they're put in the wallets, they're airdropped. So you guys can know to check it out. And yeah.
Ladies, we really hope that while long and a lot of information, we really hope that this was eye-opening, perspective shifting, gave you an inside look as to it is no longer about being an artist and not being able to be compensated or being able to make a living from your art. There is an opportunity that exists today that is enabling artists from all over the world, no matter you having a bank account, no matter you having an email address, no matter you having anything, so long as you have an internet connection. And this is so fundamentally important to the change and what this really represents. Normally, you have to have, in order to like sign up for something, you need to have a bank account with an ID or something like this, or whatever the case. And as one of the students here, I can't remember, let me see, I'm trying to see, where are you? I think it was Rawan, or who was it that so they received Bitcoin? Zena?
Rowan, yeah.
Yeah, Rowan. I mean, this is huge, huge to be able to be anywhere on the planet and be able to be compensated and be able to then turn that Bitcoin or Ethereum into whatever your local currency is. Really hope that the next time we speak, it's to be able to release music for you this way. And I am always available. Hannah will share my contact if you guys want. I'm available. I would love to connect with you guys. Stay in touch. And look, the future is bright and you guys are all a part of it. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. I'll send Sammy's contact info on WhatsApp. You guys, I'll let you guys know whenever the tokens are airdropped. And thank you for asking such incredible questions and being present today. We appreciate you. And that's it. We'll be back in touch.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.